It's going down like this, motherfucker.
This shit is crazy. The following
Nigga get mad. Say, motherfucker, what you mean you ain't gonna let me in this funky joint? Much money I done spent in here, nigga. I knew your mama when she was hoeing. Hump, baby. Shit, bet I do it over time. Say that, nigga. Shit. Bar, back the bar, off time. Shit, boy, I'm trying to make me some money. Boy, I'm hungry as a hog needs slop Jesus. Shit, gotta be a Jesus, cause too many black folks.
For what he has, he says that the only way that we can solve our problem is to unite together among ourselves, among our own kind, clean ourselves up, rid ourselves of the evils that we've become addicted to here in this society, and try and...
Yes, he destroy black boys. If you destroy him as a boy, he'll never become a man. Yes, he destroy black boys. If you destroy him as a boy, he'll never become a man.
This ain't loud enough. I'm still trying. This ain't loud enough. I'm still trying. This ain't loud enough. I'm still trying.
I just left a light in this bitch. I'm finna hit the shop in this shit.
Fuck up. Move the fuck.
Hey, where are the white women at?
I'm trying to told you just with Herman, man.
Hey, where are the white women at?
I'm trying to told you just with Herman, man.
Yeah, well, gotta get a piece of mind.
Your feet. He looked down, seen her feet. The nigga went berserk, killed the monkey, threw the bat out the window, start kicking that bitch in the air.
Say anyway, but I will. The way quantum entanglement works is that you can take two particles, quantum entangle them, and then take those two particles and move them at any distance in the cosmos. And let's just say, for example, if you quantum entangle two electrons and you have them spinning in the same direction, and then you take one of those electrons and you shoot that thing out 100,000 light years from the original. If you then rotate the spin on the one electron, if you modify it so that its spin changes, the quantum entangled electron at any distance will simultaneously in no time switch its rotation also, because they're quantum entangled. So these communication systems are taking advantage of this aspect of quantum mechanics that most people can't wrap their heads around, and this is what they're utilizing. It's just the new level of science that affords us the ability to communicate at any distance instantaneously.
You don't understand. It's cool enough just being cool, like I am.
Group of you together, you never can tell who's who. I've seen a lot of black guys, Nipsey, but you're overdoing it.
My eye, plus I'm in love with a bitch I can't stand.
I mean, TikTok. A lot of the white content creators on TikTok.
You're a philosopher? Yes. You're a philosopher? Yes. I think very deeply. I think very deeply.
Dance with me. Dance with me.
Damn white boys out there. Most of them is psychopaths and all that. They'll kill your mama's mama, and you...
Decent white folk that still don't know they're racist.
What the hell you want here, hunky?
Don't know me, want it. I don't mean to be out of line.
What's all that noise? Oh, that's just that.
Your lines are still open. Oh shit, you can get it, nigga. You wanna get it? Your shit. Get your hands off of me, shit!
The Chinese platform, you already know they don't. The Chinese platform, you already know they don't give a fuck about your black ass.
I think we OD. I think we OD.
My word, can't be my equal, I don't know what you heard. That's the difference when you're my baby. That's how it is when you.
Used to snort cocaine, now I fiend for the check, yeah.
Baby, I'm a walking dead man, is what they call me when I come. I hit the loot juice and pulls up in the dude. Baby, I'm a walking dead man, is what they call me when I come in. I hit the loot juice and pulls up in the dude. Baby, I'm a walking dead man, is what they call me when I come in. I hit the loot juice and pulls up in the dude.
I guess you go to the history of European civilizations. 250 years is how long they last before they implode, because of their greed, because of their violence, because of an inability to let others be, including themselves. If they didn't have brown and black people to hate, they would hate themselves.
Do that dance, do that dance, baby, do that dance.
Lean and walk, lean, walk, lean, walk.
My bitches.
To the east. Greetings. This is Big Pontiac, and welcome to the Chocolate Mountain Show. I am the holder of the infinite sacred ball game that was created by the Hero Twins, and I am that one and only Galactic Daddy-O, welcoming each and every one of you to my galactic patio that reaches from Minnesota to the universe. All right. And you know how I start? I'll start the same way. Tonight, our featured beverage for the host is, no surprise, Great Lakes Elliott Nest. They have the finest nectar in the land, so pop them if you got them. And one of my favorite glasses, George Killian Red. So definitely pop them if you got them. All right, and I'm on these gummies. I've still been hitting my joint every day for y'all, so smoke them if you want them. I've been smoking on this joint the last 3 or 4 times. Gummies. beat it by far. So smoke them if you want them. A toast to the boogie. Toast, everyone. Toast out there. Join me. Let's see. I want to get... There's one thing I didn't get. Yes. So let me bring it up. Let me bring it up. And... Wow. It says the U.S. military launches strikes on Houthis in Yemen. A major escalation. Everybody should know by now, Bill Belichick. I think I talked about this last night. He got fired. Oh, wow. Okay. Let's see. Okay. This is it right here. All right. I thought I went through this, but I realized I didn't. So, okay. Here we go. So I'm just going to go quickly over my picks, coming into the game. So is it the 11th, 12th, 1, 12, 24. All right. I have the Cleveland Browns and the Texans. Browns have the better defense. Texans defense ain't bad. I'm going to look at the spread in a minute. But I'm going to take, the Texans have been good to me. I'm going to take Houston. They have been really good to me this year. And that is, again, 3:30 Saturday. That's going to be the first game Saturday. And then the second game is going to be 7 o'clock Central, 8 o'clock regular. And it is Miami and Kansas City. And I'm going to say Miami. I'm going to go with Miami on that one. And then Sunday, we have Pittsburgh and Buffalo. I'm going with Buffalo. And then we have Green Bay and the Cowboys. I'm going with the Cowboys. And then we have the Rams and the Lions. I'm going with the Lions. And then the Eagles play Tampa Bay. I say Eagles win on the road. They ain't going to win much, but they're going to win that one. Now, there we go. That did it. All right. Now, let's see. Let's see. I can get the odds? Did I leave that? NFL, Pinterest, week, playoff odds. Phil. Let's go play off odds. Let's see where that gets me. Here we go to betting line. All right. So I'm sorry I didn't switch. The betting line is, I got mine for 135, say 151. The betting line is 2.5. Cleveland's getting 2.5. And I'll take, excuse me, probably this candle. So Houston is giving, I'm taking that all day. 2.52. I'm taking that all day. All right. And the over and under is 44.5. I think this is going to be an under. All right. Money line is Cleveland 145, Texans 125. The Chiefs are giving up 3. I'll take the 3. I'll take the 3 and pick Miami. What's the over and under? It is, where am I at? 43.5, fifth highest of the week. I think it's going to be over. I think that will be over. We got Pittsburgh and Buffalo. Yeah, I've heard they was giving up 10. I'll give up 10. I'll give up 10 and take I'll take Buffalo still. Even with 10, and over and under is 35.5. And they're playing Pittsburgh. I'm going to say under there too. Pittsburgh has trouble scoring. Cowboys and Packers. The Cowboys are giving up 7. Yeah, I'm going to take probably Green Bay for that 7. But at home, they're pretty good. So I'll eat the 7. Over and under is 50. Ooh. So some of these is going to hit over. So this might be a game where I'll say over. But Green Bay, they've had trouble scoring too. So I'm going to hit that one with an under. And then we got Lions are giving them 3. I'll give the 3 up. I'll give up the 3.5 and we'll take the Lions. 51.5. I would say this one might hit over. And then we got the Eagles. The Eagles are, even though the Eagles are on the road, they're giving up 3. They're giving up 3, and the over and under is 44.5. I would say under on that game too. So I've got 1, 2, 3 unders and 1, 2, 3 overs. So that balances out pretty good. You see how Nike is. They bombard me with please buy. We know you like to buy, so buy some more, please. You know how that go. I'm sniffing and snorting. Sorry about that. Probably the candle back there. And I've been smelling candles all night, so I don't know why that one would be messing with me. But it kind of is. Man, let me show y'all. Like, it's usually warm in this room because we've had the fireplace all night. But, man, let me show y'all what we're working with up here. We are working with 8 degrees above zero. It feels like 8 degrees below zero because of what's called the wind chill factor. Now, right now, the winds are not high, but as you see, okay, they've pushed the storm back. Well, yeah, the storm they predicted was going to come here at 11, so they pushed the storm back until it looks like 1 o'clock. 1 o'clock. Supposed to get 3 to 5 inches of snow, but it's supposed to snow for hours. Whoops. Supposed to snow for hours. See, we're supposed to get here, and by the time we get to here, accumulation, they're saying 2 inches between 1 and, so let's see. Accumulated an inch, 5 a.m. 0.63, 0.52. I mean, these all add up together. So, rate 13 inches an hour. Wow. So that's kind of what we're fighting with up here. Yeah. So that's what it looks like. They said we're going to get really high winds too. So expect a light snowfall. The high will be 17. Expect a light snowfall. The low will be 8 during this blustery night. So, like they've said, we could get 5, but the initial thing was we weren't going to get much. And right now they've pushed it back almost 2 hours because it was supposed to start around 11 right here, saying what, 1:30-ish, 1. So, but we're going to get hit with this blistery cold. I mean, this is blistery. This is like, you really don't want to be out with this, out too much without. So, and it's good, I really love meditating when we get hit with a storm. It's really good meditation. So that's what's going on here. Okay. There we go. Yeah, so we got a winter storm warning from, what did it say, Thursday 11 to 9/12 to Saturday. So we got a storm warning from Thursday at 11, well 9, and it didn't snow. It's not snowing. But now if you look at this map, it's we're gonna get, part of the storm is gonna hit south. I live, south on this side. So might miss it. Might miss it. So what's up? What's up, Jamar 3224? Thank you for coming. The Lakers suck. Oh, they did suck. He was trash. Come on, look how old he is. Reborn, Amaru Khan, how you doing? Thank you for coming. Thank you for the kind word. Dr. Sinister, thank you for joining. I appreciate it. All that are here. And I don't mind that the storm is coming because normally we could get snow. We could get snow up here in November. Like I remember one year it was September and we had to turn heat on. And when I got married, it was early November, and it was nice outside. You can see my daughter's wearing, she's just wearing a little dress with her arms out because it wasn't cold at all. It was very nice. It was very nice. As I mentioned, everybody's Bill Belichick got put out. Oh, we got another death. Got another death, y'all. See? These games. Bud Harrelson, 69 Mets World Series champion, former manager, dies at 79. I wonder if 79 and Alzheimer's, but yeah, I remember this cat. I remember him. Former manager passes away at 79. Wednesday night in hospice care in Long Island. He had battled it for years, having been diagnosed with the disease in 16. He had been moved into assistant care facility and wanted people to know what he was going through and did not feel alone. His family, of course, was best known for his playing days. He was a two-time All-Star and Gold Glove who got down ballot MVPs in 3 different seasons. He played 13 years for the Mets and 2 for Phillies and 1 for the Rangers. 1,500 career major league games. He gathered 1,200 hits, 127 stolen bases, and 539 runs. Most famously, he was shortstop in the 69 Met, a team that was 10 games back on August 14th and ended up winning the East and sweeping the NCAS before winning the World Series. They were called the Miracle Met. He became known for his on-field brawl with Pete Rose. Okay, I'm with it. Let's see him fight. After Harrison mocked the Reds' lack of offense and retaliated with a hard slide. So let's see if we can see the hard slide. Got him. They turned the double play. What happened here? Ooh, he tackled Rose. Ooh, he came from behind. He's like, watch that. Watch him come from behind. He gets Rose. See, he knocks Rose down. Okay. Later, Harrison, he coached them third base. The 85 season remaining until he took over as manager for 90-91. Was the third base coach for the 86 title team. He was in uniform during both the Mets World Series championships. We were saddened to hear. So the beast is hungry. Doesn't matter when it calls. When it's ritual time, they put it out there, and the beast starts to get hungry. And you know what Belichick was under? It's funny what they said about Belichick. They said that, he's always had all the decisions. He's made all the football decisions. And what they do with it. Oh, okay. And what they did is they took that away from him. That was the first thing they did to try to push him out the door. They took away that. And they was still willing to bring it back. But they said once they took that away, that was kind of like he saw the writing on the wall, that it was time to move on. Now, this is somebody else. Former founder. Wow. Now, I don't know who this is. Magnum, Tony, founder of the rock band Magnum. Okay, here's another one, y'all. I mean, here again. Founder has died at 77. The Birmingham-born musician serves as a songwriter. I don't know anything about this group, but I don't know which one. He looks the unhealthiest, so I don't know which one. Let me see. Who is it? Let's see. Johnny Walker with Magnum. Oh, so this guy here is the one that passed. He passed. Co-writer guitarist for more than 50 years. Wow, he did what he loved for 50 years. He was due to release their 23 album on upcoming tour. Daughter released a statement on behalf saying that he died peacefully on Sunday following a short illness. Wow, yeah, there's like, hey, he got that hit record, so we coming at ya. I know Tony has touched so many people. Please do not send cards, as we will have much preferred expression of sympathy going to charity, she said. His death came a week after Magnus released a new song. It's taken from the upcoming album, Here Comes the Brain. According to a Great Fun, they don't tell. Let's see. Does he have a hit? Among them is 1988 Wings of Heaven, which sold more than 60,000 copies, reached number one. So that's all I know. So, hey, what's happening, PJ? Thank you for coming. Pay attention to where these folks are from. Some are linked to the upcoming Super Bowl. Yeah, because he is from Europe. He's from Birmingham, which is in England. So, PJ, I'm telling you now, I looked this up. Let me show you. I'm pretty sure this says on this is where Ali stands on. It says Muhammad Ali Enterprises, but I still think this was part of the early what is it called? McLaren, Seth MacLaren, right? I think this is still part. I think they the one that designed it, because I had the box and everything. So, but that's what this says on it. Is you can get it. So it's Muhammad Ali Enterprises, which he sold, his likeness. That's who he sold his likeness to them. So I didn't want to forget that. So if you look that stuff up, plus 2010, I think all of them came out with 2010. But thank you for joining, PJ. Yeah, the Lakers are definitely trash. 226 and 222, the Lakers record with LeBron on the team. Damn, that's pretty horrible. That is pretty horrible. So, wow, man, come on. It ain't stopping, y'all. It is not stopping. Check this out. Reggie Wells, Oprah longtime makeup artist, dies at 76. See? Died Monday of natural causes in his home of Baltimore. Wells' clients include Michelle, Beyonce, Aretha. I'd say this looks more Reggie. I'd say Reggie looks more like, I don't know. It looks like a woman, but I could be wrong. It says he. So, Wells' clients: Aretha, Joan Rivers, Whitney Houston, Halle Berry, Lauren Hill. Wells received Emmy nominations during the Oprah Winfrey Show, winning in '95. He also appeared on her talk show and traveled all around the world, including South Africa. Reggie was an artist, so this is tied to Oprah. You know what time it is. Oh, before I forget, I want to bring this story up. Did y'all hear? Let me see if this. Did y'all hear about what ESPN was doing? They always do. The ones that won Emmys is always showing off their Emmys in the background. Now, if I understand the story right, and I'm gonna see if I can find it. If I understand the story right, ESPN was putting bogus names out there in the categories, and these bogus names was winning. So they would take the statue and they would change the name. And they said they did this for 10 years. So they was trying to prompt up, their shows by showing their Emmy winners, when in fact they were all, they lied. They lied about a lot of them Emmys that ESPN, you see the reporters getting. And so they got caught. Let me see if I can find that search. Best ESPN Emmy. Yeah, here we go. This is the story right here. I found it. So ESPN apologizes for Emmy entries won with fake names. ESPN has returned more than 30 Emmy statuettes after the awards hosted uncovered a ploy in which some network employees use fake names to eligibility rules, circumvent eligibility rules. The network said the ploy was a misguided attempt to recognize on-air talent and was not eligible for certain categories. The award were repeatedly re-engraved with the names of the on-air personalities. The sports network has apologized. Details of the ploy was first uncovered in the report by sports publication Athletic, and that's some of the ex employees work for the Athletic. The National Academy for Television Science, the organization behind the Emmys, told the Athletic had identified a number of fictitious credits submitted by ESPN to multiple Emmy competitions. Then they notified the senior management of the findings, who have since apologized and reprimanded those responsible. The Athletic been centered around college game day program, named 8 Emmys for outstanding weekly show between 08 and 18. Till 23, that category prohibits submission from on-air talent in an effort to avoid duplicate wins for a single program. On-air personalities could instead submit other categories like outstanding host or emerging on-air talent. In the bid to secure awards on their on-air talent, the network reportedly circumvented eligibility rules by submitting entries with fake names credited for the program. The fake names are similar to those of the on-air personalities with the same initials but slightly altered. There's no evidence suggesting on-air personalities are aware of it. In a statement, BBC, ESPN spokesman and Julie McKay said the ploy involved award submissions that may date back far as 97. The misguided attempt to reorganize on-air individuals were important members of the product team. Once current leadership was made aware, we apologize, said the network is brought outside to conduct a full. So they got caught being bogus. So, patting themselves on the back when they didn't deserve it. I'll do some digging. Diehard Ali fan. Oh, okay. Oh, bet. Man, but look up that one I got. That one from 76, 75, 76. You can still find them. That's why I don't want to hear the GOAT conversation with LeBron, Kobe, and MJ. No, I don't blame you. Today I've been hard hitting what's happening. Thinking about it's going to be Browns beating the Cowboys. I don't know. I still think the Cowboys, when they said that the other day that the Cowboys could have 3 home games, I'm riding with that. I still think the Cowboys are going to get 3 home games and they're going to be in the Super Bowl. That's what it appears right now, that they're going to get the 3 home games. So I'm next week I'm picking against San Francisco. Whoever they play, I'm picking against them next week. Because I think whoever plays San Francisco next week, I think is going to beat them. And the Cowboys are going to end up with 3 games at home. Now, I could be wrong, just interpreting the way it looks. So, but yeah, ESPN is bogus. They are bogus, and so, they're not as great as a lot of times. Oh, this is funny. Okay, check this out. This is funny. This is just some random shit. Prison guard jailed for being caught having sex with inmate in store cupboard. A female prison officer was under pressure to enter into arranged marriage was caught having caught having sex with an inmate after bosses installed a secret camera. Shauna Belgian had sexual relation with prisoner Joshua Mullins after striking up an inappropriate relationship while working HM prison in Birmingham. A court said she used store cupboard to engage in play fighting, flirting, heavily petting, and penetrative sex with Mullins at the Category B men's prison. But this rendezvous was rumbled when prison bosses became suspicious and installed a camera. Wow. Previously admitted misconduct in public office and was jailed in Birmingham on Tuesday. Sentencing said as time went by, you fell under suspicion and secret surveillance camera was set up on the cupboard. He said it was the prisoner's duty to keep the store cupboard tidy, and one of those prisoners included Mullins. And you and he repeatedly spent time together in the store cupboard to be physically intimate and up to including penetrative physical acts. You were observed engaging in consensual sexual while on duty, giving up the booty while on duty. I call that giving up the booty while on duty. He added this. that we had done a corrosive effect on the prison. So they heard the anti-corruption probe was carried out to prison and led bosses to believe that she was having a relationship. At the time, she was positioned and had been so since 18, suggests the relationship was intimate and taking place within a cupboard within the prison. So he told somebody. Cameras were placed. The defendant was observed engaging in sexual activity. The court heard the activity also began giving Mullins oral sex at least on 2 occasions. Footage also showed that on some occasions, radio would go off and she ignored. Also had been interrupted by other members of staff. One occasion, she could be not located for an hour. When she was arrested, her phone was seized and her internet browsing history revealed she had had an interest in Mullins and media reports written about him. Her conduct undermines confidence in the prison system. She is a privileged, good character and almost lost to explain to give up her career for that. He said she was a carer for her mother and elder sister who were both relatively so. She lost her pension because she liked getting boned by a bad boy. What else can explain it? Why would you throw your life away for somebody that you know is not going up and can only take you down? Lady, you bring me up when I'm down, but I guess dude got her up on the downstroke. So, Bobby, obviously from Arkansas. Oh, well, let me see what you're saying. Aggie Pride. Hey, the one, Aggie Pride. Hope everyone is well. Very nice. Yeah, he did leave the building. TNT interviews Bobby Portis before the game. He explodes for 11 first quarter points and 6 rebounds. Also today was National Arkansas Day. Also, Bucks get 1-1 all the time. Win versus Celtics 1-1. Yeah, they blew him out. Yeah, she's definitely an idiot, Dr. Sinister. Obviously from Arkansas. Yes. Yeah, she was an idiot. Like, why would you give all that up for, that makes no sense. That makes no sense. Oh, damn. I don't know, just kind of funny. Damn, how did it says Geno Smith loses $15 million after disappointing season? Probably incentives. Let's see what kind of incentives. Last season, let's see. Geno Smith shocked the world. The performance led to giving him a 3-year, $75 contract with $40 million guaranteed. Smith contact 5 times. There would have been $2 million in bonuses if he proved his passing yards, touchdowns, completion percentage, passer rating, team wins. He would get a $5 million escalator on top of that. He surpassed the 222 marks. With dust settled, he missed all 5 incentives. He was injured. Played 17 games. Made the playoffs. Reference this season, the Seahawks quarterback answered the bell 15 times. Ended up so he missed 2 games. Wow, he missed 2 games, and so essentially 1-year deal for the quarterback. They either have to cut or renegotiate if they bring him back. So this was a 1-year deal, okay, but $40 million was guaranteed. So what is this? The Seahawks paid him $27 million already of 40, so they only owe him 11. But his cap hit was a 10. That was the highest cap in the league. Okay, so they're guaranteed him 40, and they paid him 25.7. Okay. Let's see. So if they want to bring Geno back one more season, restructure the deal, could save the team around 10 against the cap. It's a problem that it would push the money into the future. So the team would be dealing with a contract past 25, which is almost guaranteed not to be in Seattle. Prop this sampling, blah, blah, blah. Starting quarterback, Seahawks would have taken, say, $13 million, schedule 31 cap hit. If they cut him after June, by the rules, the team could split up the debt over 2. So then they can pay him the rest of the 11. What did he made? 27. So the 11, 12, they owe him. They can pay him deferred, it looks like. They can double up and pay him deferred. So they give it and they take it away. Oh, and they're going to do in that guy. They're going to do in the guy. We talked about this the other day. They're going to do the dude in who they did the lethal injection and it didn't work. Let me see. They got his ugly picture on here again. Doesn't look like it, does it? Alabama greenlights human experimental, not guaranteed, a painless death. Despite the team's best attempt to halt the process, the Alabama judge will be the first human to be put to death via nitrogen hypoxia. So yeah, they're gonna do it. Let's see. Again, he took $1,000. We talked about this last night. $1,000 to murder somebody. Had to be a crackhead. But it was a movie I was telling my mom about, where this woman gets put to death like that. Because there's a gas way that the gas takes all the oxygen out of the air. Susan Hayward, I think she won an Academy Award or was nominated. I don't know if she damn. Ooh. Wow. So this reminds you of slavery time. California city pays $5 million to family of Willie McCoy, who police shot 55 times. Wow, there's no justification for that. California agreed to pay $5 million, 20-year-old sleeping in his car when police approached and shot him. Was a rapper fatally in a case that sparked national outrage. He was in his car at the Taco Bell when the police arrived quickly and fired a barrage of bullets into his car. Is this the one where the guy climbed up on the car and shot extra in the car? Spark National was shot. Okay. Police claim had moved his hands downward toward the gun, but body cam footage did not capture that and instead appeared to show that he was startled awake and moved his hands to scratch his shoulder. The footage also showed that officers had not tried to wake him or announced they were the police before pointing firearms at his head. Before he woke, if he reaches for it, you know what to do. I'm going to pull him out and snatch his ass. The killing sparked protests in California, significant backlash after concluded that 55 shots fired by 6 officers were 3.5 shots, reasonable based upon my training. Wow. They did not charge the officers, though. Prosecutors declined to charge the officers. Wow. 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 And misconduct. 221, the highest rates of peace cleaning in California. Shot multiple civilians without consequence. So let's get this in. The case escalates scrutiny in the Vallejo Police Department, which had an extreme history of brutality and misconduct from 10 to 20. The city had the highest rate of police killing in California, and more than a dozen officers had shot multiple civilians on the job without facing consequences. An investigation by local news revealed that some officers commemorated their shooting by bending the points of their badges each time they killed someone. Wow. Imbecile psychopaths. One of the officers who shot McCoy had previously killed Rondell Foster, an unarmed man who had been riding his bike without a light. The city paid Foster's family $5.7, the largest in the history. The McCoy's family had not yet gone to trial and could have dragged for many years. The family, however, was divided about settling. They were co-founders of the foundry. Shot McCoy. Valet officer who shot, he had killed the other. Okay, so one of the shooters also killed Willie. Almost 5 years ago, Willie McCoy was executed. As they watched in confusion, as our family watched in horror, as we tried to comprehend what possibly warrant so many gunshots and a man sleeping in his vehicle. The two relatives said in a statement, "Our justice system has failed to charge, arrest, to release the truth. We know that the system doesn't work, and why are we taught civics class when we're growing up? It's just a cloaking device to camouflage the racism that embedded in the very fabric of our legal system, which goes to design to protect the law enforcement at all costs." They said they're going to trial to bring this. They said they were hoping to go to trial to bring a systemic change and expose broader problems, but there's no settlement celebration. There's only justice. There's no justice, and we pray any future families learn from our experience, hopefully succeed in bringing down this wicked system. Mac McCoy and other brothers by his phone, no amount of money is worth Willie's death. Well, apparently it was the amount of money worth Willie's death. So apparently it was amount of money worth Willie's death. So, wow. Oh man. Yeah, that is Well, let's see what they say about our snowstorm. About to get their first taste of real winter. Temperatures plunged around 0, which, yeah, it's cold as fuck. No doubt. Snowfall, let's see. Marshall, Red Wing, I'm way north of there. Cambridge, St. Cloud is way north of me. Yeah, they're still, I don't know. It's hard to say. 6 or more snow is generally, okay, the way they say the best chances is 6 or more inches of snow generally east of Interstate 35 and South Metro. They say it's possible that eastern Iowa through Milwaukee and Chicago could get a foot of snow. 5, 6 inches. Okay, so this is going to be a pretty intense storm. This is going to be a pretty intense storm that is coming. Northwest winds will increase Friday afternoon up to 40 miles an hour in portions of southwestern Minnesota. This will lead to blowing and potential brief whiteout conditions. And look how big this storm is. I mean, look how far Chicago is. So this dangerously cold chills expect to follow Saturday night while wind spread values below 0 likely. Wow. Highs 0 as well as next week. So it's going to be pretty cold up here, y'all. But I'll say this. I'll say this. The air here is so clean and clear. I mean, I've never lived in it, and like I'm used to it now. And even we've had where we get all that pollution from when we have the wildfires in Canada. That did affect us, but generally the air here is really pure and really good. Every time I go to Chicago, especially I'm getting out of Chicago, you always smell the oil. Chicago has a refinery, so it has a smell to it, at least to me. If it ain't weed, because most cars in Chicago, it's a weed thing in their cars. They smoke and drive. And here they want to criminalize people for smoking and driving. So, so it's just something to be prepared. But the air is so clear here, so clean. And so, I don't know. I'll take this little snow and I'll take it this time of year. Yes, the driving, it becomes difficult, no doubt. It makes the driving difficult because we wanted to go see, we were going to go see The Beekeeper, but my son wanted to come over and cook. So, we went and bought everything we needed. So we bought everything in case we don't go anywhere this weekend. We bought everything we needed. So, we stored and bought a lot of groceries, plenty of water, plenty of beer. So, everything we needed, we got right here. And so if it doesn't come, we'll go out and watch the movie. We'll go see The Beekeeper tomorrow. If it does come, then we probably just chill and watch the bullshit, the free TV. Oh, the Kevin Hart movie comes on tomorrow. So let me see if I can get this to pull up. I wish I can get that picture. I can't get that picture to pull up. Wish I could have. Let me see if how good I can show it. It looks like little. They trained them to be little clans. I don't know if can you guys see this. This is like Charlie Brown kind of costumes with little Charlie Brown ghosts where they cut their eyes. But don't they look like little clans? They look like little clans members. Now, who is this? Former England boss. Former England boss? What is the England boss? Who is this? Former England boss. What? Oh, okay. He was a coach. Okay, the coach is sick. I see. The coach is sick. Jerry, I'm a fallout during the game, finds his 7th college football job since being fired by the Gophers. Jerry killed. Jerry done passed out a couple games here. He has epilepsy or something, and he's passed out here. But he's found 7 jobs since he's been here. Former Gophers football coach is expected to be hired as Vanderbilt for an off-field consulting role, according to ESPN. Vanderbilt football is in the process of hiring longtime college football coach Jerry Kill to a staff role. It's expected to be an off-field consulting role where he'll work with head coach Clark Lee and offensive coordinator Tim Beck, who coached the Gophers from 11 to 15 before stepping down mid-season due to health issues, was most recently head coach at New Mexico State, where he quickly turned the program around. Under Kill, the Aggies won just their second bowl game since '62 in a 24-19 victory over Bowling Green. This season, the Aggies went 10-5 and went to the New Mexico Bowl, which they lost 37-10. On December 10th, after the game, Keel went on a long run. Said New Mexico athletic director tried to keep the Aggies from using Lobos indoor practice facility over an incident involving his team quarterback, who allegedly urinated on the logo at midfield at practice during his visit to hometown for the start of the season. He stepped down, did not appear to be related to his rant after New Mexico. Okay. Wanted Kill to return, offered him a contract with a paid him 1.1 through the remaining 3 years of his deal, but he got out of it. Kill has been assistant coach at Rutgers. It's Old Boy Network. Virginia Tech, TCU for 2 years. He was intern coach at TCU before taking. So you see that it's like such an old boy network. This dude was falling out during the games. Literally falling out during the games. But he still has no problem getting a job, as you see. He has no problem at all getting the job. So that is interesting. It ain't like that for everybody. Man, I tell you, I'm gonna try to find some more of this footage. I love seeing style, and it's interesting. It's a couple cats on Facebook that just show like one where they were showing nightlife in Spain, one of the cities in Spain, and then they show people in England, and getting the picture, getting to see nightlife and what young people do. And what I was talking about yesterday, it was like interesting the amount of people that don't smoke. It's like a lot. I mean, it was a few people, but not like it used to. I bet you go back 20 years, you see a lot more people smoking. You seeing people vape, but you see people not doing nothing. But so it was interesting. But it's like I've said before, that like people that don't like it's a way of macking, and it's like understanding seeing a woman for the first time and truly seeing a beautiful woman. And again, beauty can have many different layers. You understand, and not just somebody new, because that's what a lot of people fall for. Is somebody new. What's the new? But it's interesting, as much as things change, things stay the same. I've seen the hairstyle my ex used to wear, girls still wearing it. But it's funny, like the amount of short shorts that the women wear. It's the little mini dresses are in style. But I saw, as they showed Spain, you could see more and more women wearing the longer, full figure dresses. So that was kind of interesting. So, I kind of like that kind of thing. And just to watch style and, watch the style around the world. And, blizzard in Buffalo. Ooh, so what is Buffalo going to get? Extreme weather could crash multiple targeting parties. There's going to be some worst weather we've ever seen in opening weekend of the playoffs, AccuWeather says. So what do they say for Buffalo's game? Wow, let's check this out. It looks like it's going to hit this storm. Yeah, because Kansas City ain't that far from me. Arctic bone chilling across the plains. Already Saturday night's game at Kansas City and Miami could be historically cold. The coldest football game in Miami history was 10 degrees back in '08. And the coldest game in Kansas City was 0.5 above in '83. Evening temperatures likely to drop below zero. Wow. Will be at the negative teens throughout the entirety of the game. It will be so cold that fans who purchase beverage, including beer, would have their drinks freeze solid due to the extreme temperature. It'd take a minute for coffee. If you drink it, it won't freeze if you drinking this shit. Same with beer. If you drink it, but why would you want to put something cold in your body when it's cold outside? I don't know. Liquor would not freeze. Bring a piece of cardboard or copper to sit on. Wow, cardboard or carpet. They don't want you to sit on them cold ass plastic seats. You probably get stuck to them. Look at this shit. Woo! 4 above. Wind chill feel like -16. Wind 15, 11. So that's why did I get an under on that game? I think that game, where we got that? I picked Miami. So yeah, under 43. This game definitely gonna be under 43. See, doing a little extra homework. This game is definitely going to be under 43 points. Definitely under 43. And that's probably the bet to take is the under. So I'm gonna try to get that. I'm gonna get a parlay of I'm picking Miami. I'm gonna take the under and I'm gonna get one more. Yeah, this is definitely gonna be under game. It's gonna be hard to throw the ball, almost impossible to kick. If it's that windy, it's gonna be real hard to kick. So you see this? Both games. In fact, there could be blizzard temperatures. Okay, there's going to be a very narrow lake effect snow. I think we have real good opportunity in Orchard Park. If it does, you'll be looking at 1 to 3 feet of snow in Buffalo. In fact, it would be blizzard with temperatures around the 20s. Wow. Temperatures could be below zero. Comeback. Bills cornerback runs onto the field before a divisional playoff round in 23. Yeah, look how snowy it is. Pittsburgh fans are known for traveling far to cheer their team, but folks making the journey from Pennsylvania to New York could face travel snarling snow. Give yourself abundance time to get from home to the stadium. Expect very slow moving traffic as well as zero visibility underneath the strongest lake effect bands. Wow, I would not go. I would not go. So definitely go with the under. It's not going to be a scoring fest with those. And so it looks like both games are going to be affected, the weather with both. Like two games they shouldn't have played is the Packers game, the commissioner later said that was a mistake. But he said having a game after Kennedy was killed was a mistake. And he said that not canceling that Packer game was a mistake too. But they let him play. Remember, it was an extremely cold game here. One of my friends had asked me if I wanted to go. This was when Seattle beat them here. We had a better team, and Seattle beat us here. And by them beating us, yeah, and it was cold. It was like 4 or 5 below, I think. That was what? That was 15, 16, somewhere in there. Because where was I living? Y'all still in the house then. So yeah, that was. So I was like, nah, I'd rather sit in the crib. But it was when the Metrodome had fallen in. So this must have been 11, 12 somewhere. And they had a playoff game outside. And it was like, yeah, you don't want to mess with that. But shit, now they got coats that you can turn them on, and they got heated coils that will heat you and shit. So, it's technology has come. You can get socks with the heaters in them and shit. So but football uniform, imagine the guys who hardly wear their pants. You're going to be all bundled up. And you can get gloves. That's the cool thing. The technology with the gloves, you can get the gloves heated and the grip gloves. So, because remember the reason why people went to the scuba diving gloves, the scuba diving gloves could stand the cold. If you remember, it's cold when you go deep. So scuba diving gloves, that's really kind of how the first glove that was successful was the scuba diving gloves. Again, they were perfect for, bad weather because, again, they made for in the water. So they have a natural grip to grip things while you're in the water. And they're had a certain amount of thermal to them. So, hey, Necessary Evil, thank you for joining. I appreciate you coming through. It's good to see you. So that's the first type of glove that was really successful, and that everybody went with was the old scuba diving gloves. And of course, also at times, I don't know if you guys ever seen real. There was a type of Goldie gloves that were used too. It was a type of it had a lot of rubber little things like for Goldie. And those, I attempted those, and those weren't bad either. They weren't great when they got cold because that plastic gets pretty rigid. But when the weather was nice, they were really grippy and stuff. So, and like, we watched the old movies of the Stickum and stuff, and the Stickum, you didn't really have to have that much. You could put, this stuff was so good. You literally just put some on. Like say every time you went to the sideline, that shit lasted a long time. It really lasted a long time. And I know, you heard people complaining about the balls being sticky, but if you used it moderately, it lasted you. It didn't really wear like that. Like, that's why you look at Lester Hayes and Blitnikoff, and they got this shit all over. I didn't understand that because this stuff was quite sticky in itself. It didn't really sweat off. This stuff was like, it stayed on. Now the spray, yeah, that stuff didn't last. But when they brought that gel, that stuff, it was like, imagine this. It was like a lotion. It was like a sticky lotion. And so it just, it just kept your hands tacky. So you didn't really need a lot of it. I didn't think. At least I didn't think. I thought it was, it was good by itself. So, but the quarterbacks, they said the quarterbacks didn't like it. I got to get a pad. I'm gonna go through some shows and see how many of these sacrifices have been. And that's the sad thing, this is supposedly a new year. And again, the new year is in March and is in May, depending on which calendar you go by. If you go by 1310, then it's in May, but yeah. And so if you go by 305 days, 10 months, no, it would be March. One of them comes in March. So damn. Now, this is wow. Wow. Check this out. Black people experience strokes more frequently and at younger ages than their white counterparts, study finds. First time Leslie Jordan held her son, she didn't recognize he was her child. I didn't know I had delivered. I was just like, this is my baby. Felt like feels like someone had set my body. I was literally burning from let me see. I didn't know I had delivered. I was just like, is this my baby? Jordan recalled adding the whole room was crying 2 days after her son's birth. Jordan said she had a searing headache. Said the pain felt like it had set my body on fire. I was literally burning from the inside out. Jordan, who is Black, had been diagnosed with preeclampsia during her pregnancy, a blood pressure condition that causes hypertension and other complications. She said her delivery, she spent days on various pain medication that didn't numb her excruciating pain, and that she had had a stroke. Wow. I was fully paralyzed. I couldn't really see, walk, or talk. I couldn't move. I didn't have a chance to go through postpartum because I had to fight for my life to survive so I could walk and talk and be there to be a mom to my son. Strokes are the leading cause of death and a major contributor of disability here in America. A new study published Wednesday in the journal Neurology found that Black people in the United States experience strokes more frequently at younger ages compared to whites. Research looked at the stroke trend from 2 decades worth of data in Ohio and Kentucky, still kind of Midwest-ish. I would say, both winter, but okay. From 13, the overall stroke rate decreased from 230 cases per 1,000 people to 188. For Black people, the rate decreased 349 to 311, and the white people rate decreased from 215 to 170. The rate of stroke among Black people roughly 50 to 8% higher than the rate among whites over the studied period, with the strongest disparity happening for younger middle-aged Black adults. The study's author, Associate Professor of Emergency Epidemiology at Brown, said the study's findings in some ways were encouraging. We see a decreased stroke over the 22-year-old period. The study also revealed strokes are happening at younger ages for both Black and white. Both Black experienced but Black people experienced them nearly 10 years younger than white. Who's also Black, said she had a ischemic stroke. Mayo Clinic says this is the type of medical emergency that can happen when the blood is reduced to the brain. She was rushed to the emergency room, chest pain, said her blood pressure was elevated, but doctor told her it's probably just holiday stress. Go home and follow up with your physician. Told her returned home only to have a stroke that severely weakened her left side of her body. It took her months to recover. For nearly 20 years, has worked with awareness about the validity of strokes. So today is recovering from her stroke, and her son is 5 years old. So she encourages to risk of stroke, get their pressure and cholesterol and sugar levels tested regularly. Here, and we're glad you made it, sister. Yeah, I used to dab or stick them in a ball game in high school because the dust of the court would make the ball slippery. If them little niggas went down in my bag and used too much, coach got on me. I'll tell you what I liked them for, and the spray was good, is new balls too. New balls, like that's one thing that was terrible. Like the first tournament game I played in, we had beat a team. We had beat them twice. They had beat us twice. Yeah, was that right? Yeah, they beat us. We beat them 1-2, and then they beat us in the tournament. And it was kind of unfair because we played literally with a brand new ball, and yeah, I don't think we didn't even have to spray stick them. We had nothing. It was really hard handling the ball, and it ended up costing us the game. That and the dude not knowing the rules, because the point guard was dribbling and the ball had kind of hit off his legs, and this nigga puts his hands behind his back and guards the ball when you can pick the ball up at any time, and that cost us the game. We was up. If he picked the ball up and I'm like, pick it up, pick it up. I'm yelling at him because I'm buying. I'm like, pick it up, pick it up. You know, he ain't know the rules. He thought it'd be double dribble, you know, dummy. You can always pick the ball up. So that cost us the game right there. But yeah, that we didn't have to stick them or nothing. Yeah, but it was like that stuff was around. It was like, you know, players coming back from the league and stuff. So that stuff was around. You know, coaches would give it to the trainers and stuff, or the people selling it would give it to the trainers. So we would get all kind of stuff. You know, I was one of the first they let to wear gloves on the field because I really like scrape my gloves and stuff because leather baseball gloves really slippery. You know, they're made, you know, to be not really stopped. So you really had to get a rough face on the glove. So I took a long time and got that glove really tore stuff into it. And the first time I went to catch it, I dropped it. And they was like, you got to take that glove off. I was like, man, this glove is okay. It's just this one time. And that was before, you know, of course, using the scuba diving gloves. That was a cold game. One of the last ones I played in college. But just, you know, messing with stuff, you know, finding just different kind of gloves and messing with stuff. That was the biggest thing I would do. Like with face masks and stuff, is just, you know, looking at stuff and investigating this equipment and, you know, saying, how can you apply it? How can you apply, you know, what the equipment is? Giants denied 2 coaching requests. What does it say? Time to get up. Oh, okay. But you know, it was a smooth day. We didn't really do much. You know, it was nice seeing my son. We had dinner with him, his girlfriend, you know, and it just I see him and you know, I'm so proud of him and how far he's came. It's truly a miracle. And not really a miracle, but it was like we were meant to be together, you know. It was like he's one of my best friends, and that's what's great about it. And he's doing his own thing. You know, um he's got a great work ethic and he goes out there and tries to get it, you know. So it's, you know, as we all go through maturity episodes, but for the most part, you know, I'm proud of him that I've almost, you know, raised him single-handedly, you know. I've had a big influence on him. I've had the biggest influence on him because we were, you know, it's funny when he was 9 or 10 years old. I told him, I said, me and you gonna be together for a long time. That's, you know, I'm like, just because of your age, we're gonna be together the longest, more than any other ones. And where my other 2 children with my second wife kind of was like her, left home, you know, she was like left home, didn't want to be at home anymore with her family. And they both, my other 2 sons, both kind of did that. This son, he stayed next to me, you know, he kind of stayed next to me longer. So he's taken a, you know, a lot of my habits and stuff. So, hey, so what's happening? How are you? I'm currently 24 years old and feeling alone in this world. I can't relate to a lot of other guys my age. Any advice? Well, I mean, I would say, you know, yeah, a little bit of advice would be like my circle is really small. Other than my children, I have a lot of children. You know, I have 4 children in this state alone. You know, and I have 4 children, in, you know, in Michigan. But that is basically my circle. Now I got a few friends outside of that, but my best friend is we've been friends for 15 years. You know, my best friend, we've been friends for 15 years. And, he's introduced me to people. I've introduced him to, the first time we hung out, it was crazy. I know it was a crazy party he came to, but he was like, he needed to do something. So he hung out. And so my circle is very small. So I would suggest it's probably easier to deal with, if there's anyone that would listen to you, find only a few that would listen to you. And older people sometimes, maybe it's an elder you can turn to. And I'm not sure how to say who you trust, but if the people your age, you feel that you are out of touch with them or out of line, then look at other ages and see where your maturity is to fit in and have older friends or younger friends. It's hard to say who you can relate to. So that's the best advice I could give to you. I haven't caught a stream in a minute. It's been feeling changes spiritually. Oh, okay. Well, I'm glad to see you. I'm glad to see you. And that's the thing, is just find your niche of the like-mindedness. Because it's, like-mindedness means things in common too. So, if you really find someone that you have things in common with, then that you can trust enough to reveal what you're going through. And so that's, if you listen and you can listen. And that's what I would say is, like, listen a lot. And then there's people that you can relate to, but listen to people, to see where their head is. And is this someone you can confide in that can kind of, and if you got family and you're cool with your family, they're always there too. I guess that's the best advice I could give. Yeah. So, but everybody, needs a friend, no doubt. It's like, I've said before, my friend and I, is like when, my bread wasn't low, but, I was maintaining, but, couldn't fix the car, where the car was down for a couple months. We still talked on the phone all the time. Like the national championship game, I must have called him several eight times. And that's how that's how I'm, he's like weekend, I'm probably call him. Because, when the Lions was losing, and the Eagles was playing good, I was always messing with him. So, in this national championship game, we going, but we constantly on the phone. He just got the Astro or the Galaxy. He got the Galaxy, so he can't FaceTime. Oh, okay. Damn, UCLA lost by 46 points. Damn, they got hammered. Hospital fentanyl thefts exposed after patients hooked up to compromised. What? Hospital fentanyl thefts exposed after patient hooked up to a compromised IV bag dies. Why? Like, how did they? Okay, let's follow this story. This is, I'm not hip to this. What is this? Oh, okay. All right. It says officials at Oregon Hospital believe a former nurse was stealing fentanyl from 4 pouches and replacing it with tap water, according to police. Up to 10 patients have died in the latest example of a nationwide pattern of the theft of the deadly drug from hospital settings. The family, at least 2 of those victims, told the media that the hospital blamed the unsterilized water as a source of infection that led to their death. Investigators confirm a link between the thefts and death and the The Shante Rogue Regional Medical Center incident could be the deadliest in the sting of hospital fentanyl heists around the country. Other high-profile incidents that occurred in the conviction of a nurse at Yale Reproductive Endocrinology, and Infertility Clinic, who replaced vials of fentanyl with saline. Probation for Denver nurse who stole fentanyl from her patients and other changes. Florida accused of selling 4 bags of the drug between September. Said they were the first alerted in early December and said they're still investigating. Wow. Though some patients died of the switch, said it was too early to say whether the switch had caused the fatality. This is way too much to uncover the case to make such elements. Wow. Fentanyl, 50 milligrams. Wow. The Road newspaper. So that, wow, we are just learning the issue. 12 Mayo Clinic study said the theft of prescription medication from hospital was not uncommon and put both patients and hospital workers at substantial risk. The researchers found that the most commonly stolen hospital drugs were opiates. And this is the chick. Look, she looked like she's on meth. She looked like, this is a nurse. I mean, look at this age. And this ain't just age from, she looks like she's on something. They wasn't noticing, just looking at her. Police arrested 55. She's facing 17 fentanyl drug trafficking charges and 17 grand theft of illegally stealing bags full of drugs, replacing their conscience with unknown certain. Wow, it's different to comprehend how someone who was supposed to save lives instead risking them for personal gain. In Texas, admitted to stealing fentanyl for personal use from a hospital and replacing it with another liquid salt solution. Similarly, a Yale nurse at the time was sentenced to 3 years probation and 4 weekends in jail, 3 months of home confinement after she allegedly stole fentanyl out of medical vials and a syringe and injected back to make them look full. She also surrendered her nursing license. Would help no patients that needed painkiller. It was later injected to patients undergoing surgical procedures, according to a federal prosecutor, getting the patients showed evidence of tampering. Wow. Well. You caught that dream scenario. What is it? Let's see. Oh, okay, yeah. All right. What to say? You caught the new dream scenario movie. You caught the new dream scenario movie. No, I haven't. I haven't caught that. I haven't caught that yet. I haven't caught that. The next movie I'm seeing is The Beekeeper. I kind of wish we'd have saw it tonight, but my son came over, so it was good spending time with him. So, damn, this other guy got $44 million for being wrongly imprisoned. They gave him $25 million. When was this? 7 hours ago. This other guy. Isn't it always his brothers, It's always brothers. This black man received a historic $25 million settlement after he spent 44 years of his life wrongly imprisoned in North Carolina for the rape of a European woman. Now 68, he was found guilty of rape and burglary by an all-European jury at age 21. He received 2 lives for a rape. He received 2 life sentences. Handpicked, claimed that the jury was handpicked by local law authorities. But it was not until 20 that the federal appeals court ordered a new hearing in his effort to obtain relief. Shortly after, his conviction was vacated. That same year, he was released from prison and received a full pardon of innocence by the governor. Then he sued the state and was given 25 big ones, of which the local government would pay $22 million. Wow. Also came apology from Concord in his role in his appeal. And, this is very racist. It was racism, and I'm going to say like this, it's more than that. I just recently, it was Jim Crow. Jim Crow is what caused this. Jim Crow and the need to put dudes in jail, especially in the South. Again, if you look at what Reconstruction was the only time that melanated people weren't really enslaved, was the start of Reconstruction. By the end, though, by 1870, large numbers of brothers and sisters was being put in prison to work like never before. And it wasn't until the 1890s that they made them write down all the people they jailed. It was one time they were just jailing and giving these people these jobs, just snatching people off the streets, making them be slaves again. They criminalized it. And that's why they said you could be a slave if you went to jail. That's why they put that in there. And this is the same thing. It goes back into, the overcoming of violently taking over Wilmington. See, this is years later. This is 100 and some years later, and we see the same behavior when Wilmington was taken over in 1890s. We see, just like I showed that massacre in Greensboro. I mean, from the 1890s to 1979, you see this misjustice in North Carolina still went on. That stemmed from really one event. If one event is changed, this Jim Crowism and just needing to put young brothers in prison on trumped up charges, if you know or not. Again, if they did it, I say, lock them up forever. But again, what if they didn't do it? So that's, the consideration. They didn't do it. And we see a lot of that. And it's sad that, he's going to be an old man, how long, he ain't really used to this life. And many times I told the story that it was a guy who helped build this prison in Michigan. He built the prison and then he spent like almost 70 years in the prison. And, they tried to let him out of prison and he couldn't. He's like, I don't know where to go. I don't have any living relatives. Where am I going to go out there? It's like, well, is there anything you want to at least do? And he's like, I want to fly an airplane. Because when he was a little boy, no such thing existed. And they flew this cat on a plane and put him back in prison and let him die in prison because that's what he knew. So, and this was a European guy, but they criminalized the freedom, and this kind of injustice still goes on, and that's all I'm saying. There's where there's a cause that caused this. And so, everything isn't about, race, but you can look at factors that change society and attitudes. Once they got, when people you can just kill people and get away with it. I mean, because you can set up a system that no matter what is done or no matter what harm you do to others, you have a system set up that'll protect you no matter what. And that's what was set up in Jim Crow. No matter how outrageous, criminal, brutal, they had a system that protected. And that was Jim Crow in a nutshell. So, that's part of history. That's all. It's time to really watch these college games and see who, we're gonna go with. What did it say? 4 voters failed to rank Washington number 2 in the coaches poll. Yeah, because they get these rankings and they get to put up things, where they were nationally ranked. What did it say? Michigan fell Monday national coaches poll in the wake of the loss. 4 voters failed to rank the team as the number 2 team. Florida's Billy Napier, Notre Dame's Marcus Freeman, Temple's Stanley Dayton, and Arkansas Butch Jones all left Washington out of the number 2 ranking. They put Georgia ahead of them. Wow. While Jones curiously had Alabama ahead of Washington and Texas at 4. Viewing the number 2 team seemed reasonable given the dubbing of undermanned Florida in the Orange Bowl and their only loss to Alabama. Yeah, 2 loss Alabama ahead of Washington seems odd. Yeah, that's a little bogus. That would be bogus to me. But all that has died down, and so now it's in the pro thing and following the scripts and the pro games and, following these basketball games and then doing once the college kicks off in March. So, and we'll be viewing it, What was 2 games on tonight and plenty of college games. So it's, this is a great time. I watched hockey. I was watching the Rangers and the Islanders. I think that's what was on. I was watching them. It was 3-3. One dude already had, and it was a goal where it was just so bogus. Dude was like, okay, so the way they clear it, right? Everybody clears it. One team goes down, a couple defenders, they got to stay so far. And it's like he just gave it to the defender and fell down. Like he literally he had the puck, the center had the puck, and he just kind of hits it over to the defender and then falls down. And the defender's got like a breakaway because he's down there. I was like, that was so fake. And then they said the dude, he's about to get that's his second goal. So they was wondering if he got a hat trick, and I bet he did. I bet he got a hat trick. Damn. Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what Arch Manning is doing because Quinn Ewers, he said he's staying. So Arch Manning still has 4 full years. And it's like if anybody that thinks that what's happening in college is not good, you just don't understand economics. And I've broken that down too many times. It's past due. When I talk about my friend, not really playing any college football, not really, and still getting CTE because of practice. If he was able to make a little money off his likeness, again, the technology wasn't quite there, but I'm just saying, he might have had enough bread to last him. And that's what is, to me, fair. I mean, they've showed examples of dudes killing themselves being in high school, having CTE. Because, again, they put little boys as young as 8 years old. And I think my son played as young as 8 or 9. And I know a couple of times, he was rough. He head first and everything. And I see here NCAA drops first nil-related sanctions against Florida State. They hitting them because they're saying that, and what they say here is that they promised deals, and it's not it's not the college that can promise the deal. It's the alumni. And this first case of the kind is penalizing football programs related to NIL. A Florida coach drove a recruit and his parents to an off-campus meeting with a booster, which happened to be the CEO of the collective. During the meeting, the coach was not in attendance. The booster outlined how much the collective would pay the player if he enrolled at Florida State. The booster then contacted the recruit and his family after meeting. The collective was willing to pay the young man $15,000 monthly for his first year. Woo! The player was not identified by the NCAA, but other media outlets reported it was offensive coordinator line Alex Atkins, the kicker. 4 days later, after meeting, the player withdrew his name from the portal and returned to his original school. Florida State engaged in negotiating, which means both sides agree on the facts of the case. There will be no appeal. Wow. 2 years probation, a show of cause for assistant coach before he can get a job, restriction off campus recruiting, 3-year disassociation from that booster. That doesn't mean all the boosters. 1 year association from the collective. Yeah, something will take this place. A $5,000 fine plus 1% of the football budget. Whoa. Reduction of football scholarships over 2 years. Wow, 5 scholarships. Reduction of official paid visits. Wow, reduction of football recruiting communications. Of summer in-person recruiting. Wow. So makes it clear that the head coach was not found to have committed any wrongdoings from the NCAA. Fractional information stating the head coach so they said it was the people under him. So they gave the coach out. Isn't that interesting? They gave the coach an out. That is what's interesting. Gave him out. Let's say you caught the new dream. No, way past do well. They've been profiting. Exactly. And I've said this many nights and I did the math, it was like of all 300 players that participate, it's almost, they should have got 30 million each just playing one game. They made that much bread, and I did the math. It was like, I did the math and it was like the amount made and, considerations of travel and all that. But it came to the profit was like unbelievable, but the fun big enough. It was enough profit that you saw the fund was big enough to pay each player about 30 million just for participating. I mean, that's how much money is out there. And the NCAA ain't been giving the players nothing. Stipend. It's terrible to be hungry. And, you can't eat until 6, 7 in the morning. That's where, what's them donuts called? Everybody line up. Krispy Kreme. Yeah, you get the baker's dozen. Oh, I love that. 50 cents. You can get 13 donuts. And when you're starving, you get pennies. The frats would come through. They'd always come through. Like, hey, we got these donuts out here. I was like, okay, yeah, I can take a few. I scrape up 50 cents, won't be hungry. Terrible thing to eat, high metabolism back then. See, Zion had a good game. Stephen A. Smith still talking shit about him. He had a good game the other night. See the pressure they want to keep on people? They want to keep their foot on their neck. And like Draymond, it's an act. It's all an act. It's just all an act. He knew what he was doing that would cause him to get suspended. So, I mean, it's entertainment. So everything he's doing, he's playing out a role, and the role is agreeable to them. They act like there's some injustice, like it's hard, for Morant, because they say his injury to his arm, it wasn't a game. It says it happened in practice. You never really know. You never really know. I must say, now, y'all, give me the yay or nay. Did y'all? I never liked these. I didn't like the original forces. I didn't like these. These is like you did have a little bit of technology. I understood, and I'm trying to remember. These were out 80 winter. Let me see, 80 spring. I want to say these were out 86, 87. Huh. Is that 86 or 87? I forget. But I don't know. What do you guys think? Yay or nay? You like the twos? Oh, they got a pair of these for 140. Yeah, they ain't worth it. I don't know. Jordans right there. Where's Jordans? Yeah. These are terrible. I see. I tell you what. This is what I've learned from. I have learned more to like the aesthetic of the shoes. I really, like shoes to me meant so much that performance was a lot. The shoes got to be comfortable. But I understand the art now and the aesthetic of the shoe. I mean, that is something that someone designed this, and it was popular, and it still lives today. That just shows the brilliance of the design. I mean, it's a design that is very functional in in today world, just wearing these. I mean, for me, they're not comfortable, but if you don't have any foot issues, this has got air in it. They have an air unit in here. So, whoever, yeah, 87. Yeah, it was the winter of 87. Cause I remember Sam had a pair. I was like, man, they look like big shoes. I got the Chicago Lucky Green one. Okay, PJ. Oh, okay. Jamar says nope. I got the Chicago's and the Lucky Green twos as well, cushioned around the ankle. Oh yeah, it is up in there. Kind of when they first started, a little bit of the sock thing. Okay, I feel you. I knew you was on it. I knew you was on it. Man, them new Jordan low tops. I've been let's see. I don't know. I don't need them. I got like shoes I only wore one or two times as it is. But as a collector, I guess that's what I am. I'm like a collector. And so as a collector, I'll say like this. I'll say, these aren't comfortable, but as an aesthetic piece, I understand. I'm starting to understand as aesthetics. This piece here. And it wasn't that there weren't other shoes like this one, but just the way they put it together had more of appeal. And it's the aesthetics. The aesthetic of it, and these 138, but the aesthetics of it. I don't know. I don't mind that. Dub Zeros are so cold Jordans. Okay. Now they're the ones there. Let me see. Okay. Let's see what these are. And then we got basically one of the early I think this is one of the early Jordans. Basically. The early style, lost and founds, because the other ones was in black. He had the black. But what we have here, we have a very the tongue, because remember the tongue was very light, I think. Again, I never had a pair of these. I didn't like them. I was wearing New Balance that summer because these came out in the wintertime. So that summer, I was wearing those that were considered the worthies. Dub Zeros are some cold. Dub Zeros, not cheap, but they do have their own crowd. To each his own. Okay. Uh, let's see. So, I ain't interested in none of these, of course not. Now this is, Michigan colors basically. So, an outfit with Michigan colors, I could see it. I like the way it's stitched. I'm starting to appreciate this more and more, must say. I like art. I like clothing. I like fashion. It's oh man, let me tell you what I watched today. I watched Black Belt Jones. I was watching that with my son, with Jim Kelly. I was trying to think what made fun of Black Belt Jones where he was fat. Was that Napoleon Dynamite? Or no, Black Dynamite? Was that Black Dynamite that always made fun of Black Belt Jones, showing when Jim Kelly had got big? I couldn't remember it not. But I don't know, a man should, dress the way, you feel. And a man should, and a man, woman, but you should, it shouldn't matter how you look and how you present yourself to the world and what you show into the world. That should matter to you. And those of us like the beautiful thing about our culture is that casual sports dress has kind of taken over in a lot of different ways. And it's so many ways that you can be casually sporty dressed now. It ain't, it's not one thing. It's a lot of different ways. Just like I did when I wear my tux. All of us is wearing, Jordans. All of us is wearing Jordans, and I wanted everybody to have on tennis shoes. So, Brad, yeah, we gotta go live one of these nights when I'm off, and I'll show you something. Oh, bet. Yeah, get in touch with me, man, because I gotta put email on here so I can go. But yeah, definitely. Let's do that for sure. Because I know you got the hats and stuff. You gave me the idea of those, to put the hats in them things. Because my brother-in-law, he wear like a 10 or 11. He can put his shoes in one of them. My damn shoes ain't going in them plastic things back there. I wear 13, 14. So, they ain't going nowhere near that thing. Let me see. I think my boots, I got to take my other pair of boots. My Timberlands, I got to take them and for the next couple of days. You said they used to be hard to get, and they did the fours the same way before. Okay. Yeah, it's interesting. I mean, you can pretty much get any shoe you want. That's what's interesting. And I guess the thing is authentication, because like I said, and when I moved here in 2006, that summer of 2007, the knockoffs were, I'm telling you, they were so prevalent and looked identical. Like the only time I owned a pair of twos was I bought a knockoff pair of twos, and they looked just like the shoe. But I've said this before, the bottom, that was a clear bottom, it was like ice skates. You couldn't play ball in these shoes at all. They looked like them, but whatever was on that bottom had no grip at all. And so I started cutting the grass in them shoes. But so that's my only point of getting shoes now. The fakes are really good. They're really good. And I remember, I've told this story before. The first pair I used to wear, I was buying them for the boys because they were so cheap. Somebody crashed into that store and took his whole wall. He had 2 walls full of them fakes. And somebody crashed into his store because he, all glass front, and took a wall of his shoes. So he was still open, but he only had 1 wall left. But the dude took that. That's how much, they was worth. And then they finally busted down because it was coming from Africa. Now, I don't know if they was made in Asia and then made it. I don't know. But they was coming out of Africa. And that shit was good. 8s are my favorite. Or you like them crisscross straps? They addictive. My winterized 8s. I wear them almost every day exclusively. Now, 6 rings, I wore them a few times, but the winterized 8s are warm too. Now, when we gonna see when it gets snowy, if I want to wear my winterized 8s out in the snow. But yeah, the more I'm wearing them, the more I definitely like them. So yeah, I do love the 8s. And winterized 8s is what I'm wearing most of the time. So depending on the snow, but so ice skaters. Wow, oh man, those shoes. I'm telling you, they look just like the ones I just showed you. They was white and with the red, but they had the clear bottom, but the bottom, whatever it was made of, had no grip. I mean, it was like, I don't know, like I don't even know how to describe it. It was like worse than dress shoes. Dress shoes, we used to get taps put on our shoes to give dress shoes some grip. Because Stacy's, it's a slick bottom. I tell you the stupidest thing, like we had went to a little party and stuff, and my friend had a Maverick, and I think it was rear drive, and he had parked on some ice, and me and my friend told him, don't park on this goddamn ice. We like, park over here, don't park on that ice. And so this dude gets stuck when we leave. He gets stuck, and we told him before that don't park there. That's what we told him. We get stuck. We are both wearing Stacy's, and we trying to push this car. We are standing on ice. The car's on ice. We got shoes that's patent leather, got no grip, and we trying to push the car. I was like, man, you get out here and push. You got the grip shoes, the boots. In Virginia back in the day, fool had the nerve to sell fakes in the mall, in a strip mall. They bust his ass. I'm gonna tell you, next time, I go to my locker, I got the original Carmelos. Now I'd like to know if they really real. I got the original Carmelos because I bought what did I buy? I bought 2 pair. I bought my son a pair of Carmelos. That's what he played with as a freshman, I think. And I bought, maybe the 7s, 9s. I forget. I bought 2 pair. I'd have to ask him. The Bugs Bunnies, the one that was called the Bugs Bunnies. I think that's the pair I got. And I wondered about, because I'm telling you, they was so prevalent around here that, it's hard to say if these stores was really selling the real Jordans. I don't know. But I still got those Carmelos. That's why I tend not to, unless I give my shoes away to somebody, I keep them. They bunch, in my garage. My son need them. He wear 13, so he need them. And I said, when I lived in Michigan, it was Curdy he was a crackhead, but it's like he's my man. Just somebody I don't know if you just really understand how you just get cool with people. And you see how he is and be like, man, can you use this? He even one time told me, I was like, I'm bigger than you. And he's like, man, I don't care. Whatever you got, just bring it by. And he had a brother that was booming, and his brother wouldn't even look out for it. It's like just, and I've said before, the 9s, the one with the little hologram, what is them? The one with the hologram in the ankle. I remember those are just, I quit hooping in them. And my dad was like, my son was like, my guy just got out of the county and he ain't really got any clothes. You got any shoes or anything? You still got them Jordans in the basement. And I'm like, yeah, he can have them. Cause I'd already used them. Again, the value was different then. And I was like, of course. And my best friend in Michigan, Eric, his daddy, he already knew. He already knew to hit me up every couple months. He's like, man, I know you got some more shoes. Because I'm sure those original Shaqs by Reebok that was comfortable before Iverson came out with his 2s or 3s. That Hexalite, them Shaqs was super comfortable. I love hooping in them. Those were one of the first really great, comfortable, light, bouncy shoes was them. And then when them Iverson came out, those was great. Those was great, especially the patent leather blue ones. Man, I bust them out in a Macker. I think that's the one where I walked away with 2 Macker trophies and 2 plaques. So, yeah, that was my cousin. Yeah, because it's it was all the hustle. People working at the stores and stuff. Like standing in line and shit. We would be done. Like I used to sell equipment, sports equipment. I had a Health Rider store. So, the dudes that worked at the Champs or Foot Locker, I'm like, we all trading and stuff. So I'm giving bread to them. And going there like that morning before the store opened up, give them my bread. And get the shoes. So. I think the 11s, I had the blue and the black and white ones. Pretty sure I did. So, that's just, I'll just always, the Carmelo 1.5s like them. Yeah, they light blue. Them Carmelos is light blue. Next time I go out there, I'm going to bring them because they say, I'll get somebody to fix them up. But yeah, they light blue. They them light blue Carmelos. These is from 10 or 11. They got to be from 10 or 11. I just always kept them because, I just keep shoes. I didn't keep the boxes, but I kept the shoes. So, yeah. I know everybody's that has to work. I know you guys glad that it is Friday. And, whenever your time ends. It was funny. They was talking about Vince Carter and his game. I think, if you sum up Vince Carter, and again, we go with skill set, but Vince Carter tells you everything I needed to know about Vince Carter. I learned when they had that playoff series and he graduated, and then he flew back to play the game, and then they lost. I mean, that was a given they was gonna lose, but again, that showed his focus. You think Jordan would have, taken off the game the day of the game? Do you think Jordan would have flown himself across the country, like that for something that you can really do anytime? You can catch the next one. And that to me sums up Vince Carter. Now to say what was he one of the most athletic people? Yeah. Really what you got to look at is the way it was given. Like really you got to really look at that prototype in North Carolina. And I think Vince Carter's from down south, maybe North Carolina, but I'm not sure. But he got it too. There was David Thompson. The first of that prototype was David Thompson. All right. And they just did a statue. And the statue, he's 44 feet off the ground because David Thompson, 6'2-ish, 6'3". But if I said before, David Thompson got it from Earl Manning goat. That's where the word goat come from Earl Manning goat. He was the original prototype with 45, 46 at 6 foot. I mean, this dude was touching the top of the backboard in 8th, 9th grade. His supposed dunk is the best ever talked about, where he did 2 360s. It's like he jumped from the free throw line going to the basket, spun off one dude, another dude there, spun off him, and then dunked it. And so that energy, Michael Jordan, born from New York, that energy, David Thompson, is in North Carolina. So you see how Michael Jordan got that energy too. And so did Vince Carter. And Vince Carter would probably be like closer to how David Thompson turned out. Drugs end up ruining David Thompson. Shortened his career, took away from his career. People forget at one time he was the highest paid player in the NBA. David Thompson was. I mean, he was like you couldn't imagine a dude Steph size just dunking on everybody. Do you understand what I'm saying? A dude Steph size that is dunking on everybody, going high, getting a rebound. I mean, this is what David Thompson was. And so this is, the prototype for what Michael Jordan became. And again, Michael was like me, seeing David Thompson catch that alley-oop from Marty Tao. Thinking, wow, we can do that too. And then when you come to Vince Carter, I say Vince Carter, longevity-wise, hey, this brother stayed in shape for a long time. But, when was the period where he was dominant and made a difference, Yep, I am Vince Carter from Dayton Beach. Okay, he's from Florida. Okay, Vince Carter's from Florida. Okay. But he went to college in North Carolina, so that's why I say he's in there too. Because again, if you looked at what Dean Smith was looking for was pretty clear. Remember, he had Al Woods, but who's the one before Al Woods? He played for Phoenix. Oh, he was number 24 too. He had that cat, and then he got Al Woods. From Al Woods, he got Worthy. And from Worthy, he got Jordan. And he got Perkins too, but again, he was looking for a certain type. And as I said before, if you saw Worthy as a freshman, magic. Magic. Worthy was played like magic. Dishing, getting the rebound, pushing the ball up the court. And he broke his ankle or broke his hand. Him and Dr. J. Yeah, well, Dr. J, see, it's a different energy there. It's a different energy there. And I'm gonna tell you why. Because Dr. J is more Connie Hawkins. Man, you look under his name, it say otherwise known as the Claw. They was calling him Little Hawk because he was doing what Connie Hawkins was doing. And, I've said again, the Michael Jordan pose is Connie Hawkins. That's who originated that pose, the inventor of the spread eagle dunk. And the only difference between the spread eagle dunk and what Michael Jordan does is one does more of a scissor, your legs like this. Connie Hawkins did like this with his legs open. We used to call it he called it the spread eagle dunk. So what's the difference between holding the ball out here and scissoring your legs or your legs apart? It's the same. It's the same thing. The first one that would go and just hold it and punch it was Connie Hawkins. And that's Dr. J. So when you come to Jordan, yes, did he have that influence of poking it out? Of course. I mean, Jordan's only a couple years younger than me. So yes, I agree. He did have that influence too. But again, that's Connie Hawkins, and Dr. J brought Connie Hawkins to the league, far as that type of game. And, I say, go back, why did they ban Connie Hawkins, Roger Brown, Doug Moe? And again, they all would have went to the Knicks in 64. That is really why they got banned. They didn't want to compete. And Connie Hawkins would have changed pro basketball more so even than Elgin Baylor. Because Elgin Baylor, again, moving his body and stuff. Again, that's the size they love. They love that 6'5", 6'6" dude. That's their what they want to lead the league. That's again, Dr. J did it. They thought George McGinnis can do it, but George McGinnis is more like 6'8". So, they have a prototype. And that's why look at all the cats that's 6'5", 6'6". Look at Jeff Green, how they came into the league. It's many others that, just high flyers. Westbrook, before they hurt him. High flyers. So, this is what, you could see how it came into. But see, Jordan, to me, Jordan, again, is more on the David Thompson side than the Dr. J, Connie Hawkins. And it's a bunch that fell, from Dr. J too. You like, what is the other pacer called? Donnell Hillman. Donnell Hillman, again, a lot of these cats, again, emulating Connie Hawkins from Dr. J. And his impact. And again, he's in the Hall of Fame and because of his street ball. That's why Connie Hawkins is not his really pro career. They wronged him. And so, the sacrifice he had to make, that's how they repaid him. Not necessarily his pro career. So, and rightly so. He had a part of the game. Again, he was the first to, Will was fucking around and could just literally jump from the free throw line and dunk it. Connie Hawkins was the first to really do it in a game, and he did it in high school. Again, he was 6'8" in high school. So, but Wilt could do it, just take a step, punch. And they said you couldn't cross the line. And he didn't even do it in a game. Wilt did it in practice. Wilt was just fucking around in practice, and a reporter saw him do it, where Wilt just was standing there and just jumped, took one big jump and dunked it. And the dude reported it and told it to the NCAA, and they banned that you couldn't do it. And that ain't, he ain't take steps. He ain't take steps. So. But yeah, PJ, the thing I'm trying to put together, is highlighting brothers, and not just stars. Brothers that did their thing wherever they did their thing. I think we should highlight that. Because, men don't think what they did was great, and it was great. Especially, you look at how young people are about to get paid. Well, just think of all these people that put all this effort in it. If that would have, they could have gotten the same attention. Well, we need to have a forum for showing you how all these people got their own experience. And it was important. Like, there's one brother I'm going to highlight when I put some stuff together, and the brother, he was the first one to really, just show me how to shoot. And I'll tell this story every night because it was just, for the cat to take time. He see me back there just going at it, and he's like, why are you shooting like that? Who showed you that? Do this. And something like that has an effect on you the rest of your life. And then you look at his life, and the thing that stopped him from his greatness was very petty, and some of his own people, because he wouldn't stand up for the national anthem when he switched schools. And you know, I'm not ashamed to tell this whole story. He probably switched schools because he was a thief. Because when the JV team would be out, this mug would disappear and go into the other team locker room and start going through pockets. That was just who he was. So I'm not sure that's why he left one high school where he was all state his junior year and didn't even play his senior year. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Yeah, MJ said him and Dr. J. Yeah. I got that. So, but he was still, you know, he had greatness. You know, these cats, like people don't understand. River Rouge is where the biggest auto plant in the world was at one time. And they had a basketball dynasty from like 1960 to about 1970. And my friend, you know, he ran into that. It was like, hey, my uncle, I watched my uncle play against this cat. My uncle said he was the best cat. This cat's 6'4", you know. And he could post people and he could handle the ball. But playing them brothers against River Rouge, just a picture of them double teaming him in a press. And, you know, it's like you can't beat him by yourself. And that's what happens. But you know, it's like what happened to him and what stopped him was like, you know. And it doesn't take, you know, like no matter what happened to him afterward, what he still accomplished still matters. And it's like, you know, I've had, my cousin passed maybe in the last year or so. You know, I had to put his basketball stuff out there. It's like, this man, you know, he did some things. You know, I had to put that stuff out there. I was like, well, yeah, he did pass, but this is some shit he did. This man, you know, his senior year, their team made it to the Final Four. Now, I think he was one of the teams all state. And so this man he had a moment that he shined. He did have a moment that he shined. And the same thing I showed for my friend, you know, that was all city with me. And he was all city twice. I was only all city once. And you know, it's all the people that knew him. I'm the only one that put something about this nigga. And I ain't seen him in 20 plus years. But he's in my scrapbook. And I remember us being little boys, and the way he played, I'll never forget. His game, I'm telling you, I remember, I do remember a lot. It's certain things, but it's like I remember certain people's games, the way they played in 7th, 8th grade. Because back then, everybody had a hope. It ain't really till like really 8th, 9th where you see that, okay, these dudes is at a different level. I mean, people will look, and you just think of yourself where, you know, and now it's even younger where you see the different level with the traveling. But I'm saying without the traveling, you know, you could see where, you know, 8th grade, yeah, okay, you can play against us in gym. You might have not made the team. You might have went all summer and think you could play. And then back then, you could play church league too. Keep getting better. Keep getting better. They don't hardly offer that anymore, I don't think. Maybe where you live, look into that. Church league. I'm stuffed up a little bit. I think it's this candle. Well, I don't know. I've been downstairs candles all night. All these lights, it gets hot in here, but not too bad tonight because it's so cold out there. But you know, it's like I care. You know, I care that these people have stories that need to be heard. And even if that's a brief moment, you know, showing that person still needs to be heard. That's all. That's all. You know, I mean, like anybody that plays the sacred ball game, and you play it even in high school, you know all the time it took you to even make your high school team. Look at all the work you had to do. Just a shorty. Just look at all the work you had to do, where you had to play and how you had to play in, you know, and the frustrations of playing against older people. The frustrations that turned into a skill once you learned how to get by them, get over them. I mean, we the way we're raised, we put a lot of effort into the sacred ball game. I mean, I ain't the only one. where we put a lot of effort in our young life on that court, gym rats, field rats, always doing it. I mean, they tell stories of dudes just dribbling all the time. And you just see them. They always had a basketball, always holding the football. And just because life changes, it doesn't mean that what they did shouldn't be appreciated. That's all I'm saying. It should be appreciated because it does show that with the right background and support, that you look at what these people achieved with the right background and support. Because again, everything after that age was just them, no support. But I'm saying, look at what these young people achieved with the proper support. So given the social economics, it could have went a different way for a person. So I told my nephew, having it ain't about you going pro. You got that special stuff in you that can take you wherever you really want to go. And that spark came from the sacred ball field, but it will last you and go with you the rest of your life. So let's see. It seemed like it was some foulness up here. Miss Klondike Cake, Kate. No, maybe not. Some of this stuff is so funny. How to prepare your car for winter. Yeah, that's a good point. You got to have a scraper if you don't live in a garage. I live in a garage, baby. Oh, they're breaking the snowmaking condition. Oh, my goodness. I live next door to a ski. We ski. What do you call it? You can fucking ski next door to me. I mean, literally, I can go stand outside and a little trolley will come pick me up and take me over to the hill. Now, my son's girlfriend, she told me that they've dropped the price for tubing. So I think I might go over there and tube. She said, you can go there. She said $14 and it's open till 10. So she said, if you go after 5 or 6, you can, go until it closes. So I'll be sore, but I might tube. Tubing might be fun. So at least my daughter would like it. So we might end up doing that. And that's just like right next door. Like if you came here, I could take you tubing. And if you come here, I messed up when I got married because my man told me, he was like, man, all you had to do is make a reservation. We'd have stayed open for you. I was like, what? He's like, yeah. So we're going to go throw axes too. And I'll do a show about us throwing axes. I tell you what, last night though, or Tuesday night, they was putting shit on the roads. They was treating the roads for this ice and snow. Because they had the highway closed down. It was too like the signs that said stop was rolling. So they was putting something down, some type of chemicals down on the highway, treat them. How to prepare your pipes for freezing. Yeah, that's a good absolute. That is a good absolute. If you think there's a possibility from your pipes freezing, just leave your water on. Like the people in Texas, just leave your water on. If you know it's about to freeze, leave your water on. Running water will not freeze. So just leave your water on. And your pipes will not freeze. When I lived in North Carolina, that's what I would do. That freezing shit came on. Oh. So, yeah, really not a lot of debauchery. Apartment fire, burned the shit out the apartment. So, yeah, so it's pretty calm. Looks like it's pretty calm. I know it's always certain cities where it's not calm, but, I'm glad up here it is. Because it gets cold. They got people that kicked out of the encampments and shit. The homeless want to just live in certain areas. Oh. So St. Thomas lost. They was undefeated, I think. They lost to South Dakota State. Violence, threats, and arrest. Wow. Lakers got smoked, CWE. Thanks for coming. I appreciate it. Yeah, Lakers got smoked. They definitely got smoked. Tell you who's playing good basketball though. Them Gophers. Them Gophers is 3-1 in the Big Ten. Not sure how they did tonight. Ooh. U.S. considering genocide accusations. Whoa. Bedtime reminder. How long have I been going on? I'm hyped up. I can go on a little longer. Let's see. Oh, there we go. There's always debauchery. Up in Philadelphia, the home of brotherly, it's always debauchery love. Damn. 15-year-old shot at SEPTA station in Center City. Damn. Wow. Yeah, there's always something up in that part of the country. Traffic moves. Oh, DeMarcus Smart got honored in Philadelphia. Are they from Philadelphia or just played there? So, I'm picking the Eagles, but if the Eagles lose, don't ask like I'm not shocked. I'm not wearing any more Eagles gear. Unless they win Sunday, then, Sunday show I might wear it. But other than that, yeah, no Eagles gear. The Eagles gear and the Viking gear have been put up for the year. The Eagles suck, and they're gonna lose. I picked them, but I don't think they'll win. I think they'll lose. I would be totally shocked if they won. I really would. Damn, did I do her? Same musical Kate Bush for a new album in London with her bass partner and Dale Palmer. Did we do these people? Maybe I did. I don't remember. He looks like Matthew McConaughey, don't he? Don't that look like Matthew McConaughey? And this guy supposedly died. He was 71. Did I do this one? Kick inside, base of her recordings, Lion Earth, 50 words. Hounds of Love. I never heard any of this shit. I don't know who this chick is. So he was 71. So do we count him? Is he another one we count? And I'm gonna take names during the when we get to Super Bowl time, them 2 weeks, I'm gonna start writing them down. What did it say about Magic here and the Commanders? Let's see. Magic selling his little bit of the Commanders. Let's see. Here he is. Oh, Commanders are hiring a new general manager. Okay, Magic. Let's see. I caught something. 13 bisexual actresses who came out. Okay. And look at this. It's funny, when you talk about the magenta artificially put in, look behind Barbie just in this shot. All the magenta back there. It replaced the emerald green. Tell me why. Sam's Club. My son sent me some shit from StockX. Get my daughter her Uggs. Wish I'd have got them before this damn snow come. So. Oh, and of course, I get a bunch of ads for the shoes. It's always the shoes. Yeah, they can only bury you in one pair of shoes. You don't want to be buried in shoes. You really don't even want to be buried in clothes. Well, I mean, blankets, maybe. And there is a way to practice, what's going to happen to you as you pass. It's a way to prepare for that stuff. And it's not really that difficult, even helping a person, helping a person, like when they're about to transition, it's not hard to help them, transition right. No matter, you can help them, push that energy, because that's the final push. That's the last of your real thoughts, is to push yourself out. That's what your consciousness wants. It wants to be free of the body. And that's what they call, when they talk about the silver cord snapping. You see that cord, because that's like, no matter what you take, you can take ayahuasca, no matter what you take, you feel yourself floaty. You ain't grounded. If you just look, you're always connected to a cord. Like it's really, you could do like this to go back to yourself. If you ever feel yourself floaty, just reach down. It's there. And it will take you back to yourself. But if that's torn, then yeah, you're dead. Like Jimi Hendrix said, woke up one morning and found myself dead. But if the cord is there, you're safe. You can just go back to your body. You literally, just like that, hand over hand, you can go back to your body. And that's, not very complicated. But if it snaps, then, you're on your way. You're on your way. Move through. That's all. Like, I wrote my cousin a little thing, and it's just like, you have to accept grief. You have to accept that they passed, and you can't hold them here. I mean, it's unfair to you. It's unfair to them, because it's like, and my wife put it right. It's like, some people don't know if what they're doing is enough. If they don't do all this, they feel that they're letting the person down. But it has to come a point where you do enough. For the grief. As I said the other night, put any kind of a memorial up. It's, you should have some type of ancestor memorial. Pictures where the ancestors are up, that just makes you stronger. I mean, normally I have pictures of my children up on a wall, and which I've got to find which wall to do that. And it's funny about my grandfather, he had a picture of, all his children up, and then the grandchildren were around the house. But he always had the picture of his up there. And that is a way, you have your pictures of your children up there. That is a way of showing that, you left an impression on life. You spread all those different branches. And luckily, my older children got to meet him. Well, all my children got to meet him. My 21-year-old got to meet him as a baby. But all my alive children, except my daughters, got to stand in front of him. I said, shake his hand. I said, each one of you, shake his hand. The older one, shake his hand, go all the way to the younger one. Because when you touch them, that connection, I wanted him to pass that energy from all his DNA, all his side, to each one of those young men. I've talked about the same way when my grandmother kissed my son, Brennan. And this is when Brennan was a little older. It's funny, when he passed, he's like, man, I thought we'd get to see him again, Dad. He's sitting at that table. He remembered. And the way he built the house, I don't know why he built it, but he built it like kind of on a platform. So his living room, when I was a little boy, the living room was sand. So it was covered glass, but there was no floor. The floor was sand where he built the house over. It was sandy right there. And so like you could see under the house. And then later he closed that off, but you always kind of had to step up to go to where the dining room table was. And I guess my grandmother would take the kitchen from room to room, because it's about 4 or 5 bedrooms in there, only one bathroom. And, my dad grew up, even though it was toilets in the 50s, he grew up with outhouse. So, but, that's not an isolated story. A lot of people grew up like that. But, this the connection that you can have with your family. It's a great connection. One of my cousins, she commented on me. She's like, you're a lot like granddad. That's so funny. I remember asking him, did his dad like the blues? Like, he started laughing. He's like, no, Daddy didn't like the blues. And it was funny, he called him Daddy. It's like, Daddy didn't like the blues. So, cities around the world with the highest weed consumption. Okay, is it in here? Oh, I gotta listen to a motherfucker to tell me. Oh, I guess I gotta listen to this shit. With the highest weed consumption. Cities around the world. And I still, blunts, that ain't for me. I like tobacco. I like sucking on them cigars. That's it. I don't really want to smoke them. Maybe once in a blue moon, but mostly just sucking on them. That's all I don't want my weed with tobacco at all. What, did it stop? Or it didn't play? Okay, well, let's see what they say. The cannabis market was valued at $47 billion, according to Fortune magazine. Here we go. The industry is projected to grow to $44 million by 2030. Insider Monkey report that there are some of the cities around the world with the highest levels of weed consumption. United States, between 12 and 20% of people admit to smoking weed at least once in the past year, which makes the U.S. one of the countries with the highest amount of smokers. Denver consumes a total of 6.8 metric tons of marijuana every year. Australia consumed a total of 6.8 tons, being legal in Australia with a prescription. Wow, they really want their weed. Ireland still ranks the highest weed consumption in Europe, so the Irish want their weed. Eurometer, approximately 17% of people in Ireland use products containing marijuana. In 23, adults in Hamburg, Germany were legally allowed to grow and consume recreational cannabis privately or through members' clubs. Right on. Tokyo, Japan, CBD weed legal since 2013 has become increasingly popular. Experts estimating the industry could reach 80 billion. 80 million. All right. All right. All right. All right. All right. See, I could have said that what I'm not Cheek and Chong, but you know, every time I come on, I definitely give energy to the idea of you know, really like injury, you know, pain relief. You know, weed is good for that in so many kind of ways. Anxiety, it's so many different kind of ways that it can, you know, help you. Joint pain, I mean, it's great in lotions, it's great in soaps, clothes. I mean, it's roll-ons. I mean, it has a real value other than, you know, smoking, but you know, that's the benefit. It has a lot of different benefits. And so I say, you know, look at what benefit that it might give you. That's all. This company uses AI to alert parents when kids get dangerous tech. I like that. What the fuck did you get here? The real time is the first mid-range device with a periscope. Real time. What the fuck is that? Oh, this is tech. Okay. Did you guys hear the story where the robot last year, he turned two robots off? And is this the real story? Does anybody know if this is a real story? So at Tesla's plant, a dude turned two robots off. The third robot killed the dude. Did anybody else hear that story? Is that a real story? Or was that some bullshit? Because that's what I read. I forgot to add that. But that's what they say happened in October of 22 or 23. That the dude turned off two robots and the third robot attacked and killed him. Yeah, I can't wait to go home. You can't wait to get home. Oh, I bet. But anybody else hear that story? That the robot attacked a man because he turned the other two off to fix them? Like what's funny is, you know, you can still order shit from Ukraine. Like Ukraine still is doing eBay business. Ain't there a war in Ukraine? How they sending shit off? Oh, you smoke out of rice paper. Where are my papers? Yeah, mine is something like that. They're either up here on the table. Maybe they're back on. No, they're right here. What is these motherfuckers? They're pretty light. Yeah, I like these raw papers. I smoke out of them. But you know, the smoking is rough, like wax. I love wax, but that shit, to smoke that shit, it is rough on your lungs. No doubt. Even with a fucking bubbler, that shit is rough. And I like the wax, but the wax don't like me. That shit is rough on your throat. On the art, the biggie. I think this is so creative. The bottom I don't have. Now I bought my son one of these, and the bottom he has is like this. I don't have the tray. I only got the magnet top. But this is cool. This is just cool stuff. That's all. I appreciate art. I love art. You know, I'm friends with a dude that he does some great art. So I want to get some of my sports pictures to him when I have some cash to throw at him and get him to draw me a couple pictures and, you know, put them up and then blow up some pictures, you know. Let's see. We are more sensitive to temperature than we thought, the study reveals. Yeah, I bet. New big. Let's see. Yes, sir. They burn clean and slow. Oh, indeed. Indeed, they do. Indeed. Yeah, but the raw when I smoke. And that's probably, you know, I've got bongs and shit. So I'll probably, you know, just smoke flower and get some flower. I ain't going to get none tomorrow unless I get some from the head shop. But I'd rather just get the gummies, and I got shit enough gummies. Might still go sneak over there and give me a bag, but shit, when I get down here where I'm at 220, what is it, through 2? Okay, it's only, okay. If I get up before it snows, I might go over there and get me some buds. Give me some buds. And, you know, I talk a lot of shit, you know. I ain't mad at nobody. I don't hold anything against anybody. I speak my piece and let's move on. There's no nothing held. It's just people notice things. That's all. But it's, you know, you can be indifferent about it. That's the greatest way to be. You know, you're just indifferent about it. It's like, okay, I'm indifferent about it. That's all. So don't agree or disagree. Just be indifferent. You know, it's like it don't really matter. When it gets right down to it, you dig? It's like you can just be indifferent about things. It's like, okay, yeah, okay, that's cool. Yeah, I'm rolling with it. Good luck to you, baby. Dark energy discovery. A decade in the making. What do they got to talk about? Dark energy discovery, a decade in the making. New supernova insights offer clues to expansion of the universe. Now, expanding universe is a little, it's not quite like, you know, the Big Bang, but sort of like it. Because they say, you know, the energy and dark energy is always expanding. Dark Energy Survey, DES, which released results today, represent the work of over 400 astrophysicists, astronomers, cosmologists, and over 25 institutions. They took the data of 758 nights across 6 years to understand the nature of dark energy and measure the expansion rate of the universe. They found that the density of dark energy in the universe could have varied over time according to a new complex theory. Astrophysics and supercomputing was part of the team. Again, you know, they can only put in the numbers. Along with Swinburne's Mitchell Dixon, Professor Carl Glaserbrook, and the Emeritus Professor Jeremy Moll. Their results, collaboration between hundreds of scientists around the world, are a testament to the power of cooperation and hard work. Okay, come on, tell us what you did. I am very proud of the work we have achieved as a team and its incredibly thorough analysis, which reduces our uncertainties to new levels and shows the power of dark energy survey. We're not only use state-of-the-art data, but also develop pioneering engineering to extract the maximum information from the supernova survey. I'm practically proud of this. I developed the method to select the supernova used for the survey of the machine learning. Again, this is a machine. So let's see. Let's see how they break it down.
What is dark energy? Well, it accounts for the majority of the entire universe. There's just one problem. Not only can we not see it, but we're not even 100% sure it exists at all. However, a recent report from the Dark Energy Survey, or DES, has found some new and interesting things about the mysterious energy state. Experts estimate that dark energy makes up some 70% of the observable universe, and astronomers attribute the expansion of it to that very source. Now, using better observations from more advanced telescopes and instrumentation, dark energy researcher Robert Nichols says they may now have a much better idea of what's going on. They use data from giant supernovae, or exploding stars, as a measurement tool to allow them to compare their mathematical expectations to real observations. They now have the most accurate measurement for dark energy's equation state, or the state that describes the ratio of pressure over energy density for a substance, noted as W.
Okay. 25 after initial, the dark energy is accumulation of a decade worth of research. Again, you know, what they're telling you is they still don't know. They're running programs, and this is what the program is telling you. That's what they're doing. So, you know, like how, like the biggest thing in this is what is dark energy's practical use? You know, like what is its practical use? Like, and this is something that I've tried to really, you know, really touch into. Because again, if your idea of going across the universe and, you know, you're what do you call is it called a nitro or, you know, but if you're a part of particles that can travel fast and travel through the earth, I mean, how are you using dark energy? And then dark energy, where does it come into far as when they say dark holes are? Like what's inside of a dark hole? They really have no explanation. Again, this is all about math and crunchy numbers. That's what this is. It's about math and crunchy numbers.
8. So why is that important? Well, any W value greater than -1 leads to the Big Rip model, or where the constant expansion and acceleration of the universe eventually tears it apart. This new number gives us better odds that won't happen, meaning the universe isn't necessarily on a dead-end path to eventual.
Okay, they've come up with all those theories. Pioneering new approach. Yeah, so you know, this is all theories. And it's, you know, I tell you, you know, it is something to touch into. Dark energy is something you can really tap into. But again, you know, they've come up with it. So what are you tapping into too? That's the way you kind of got to look at it also as well. But see, and that's where I get them, and that's where you should get them too, because they do all these possibilities, and through the possibilities is how you take advantage of it. You know, because they say that you can do this. So in some type of state, you can do certain things. I mean, I'm talking many nights about people saying, you know, you can fly in your dreams, right? You can fly in your dreams. That's, you know, you can fly in your dreams, right? So in a state, one of your states, you actually can fly. You can dig that. The confidence it takes, because that's telling you you're the most comfortable in your life when you start flying in your dreams. And I enjoy it so much, I like flying backwards. I like really just laying back and just streaking through the space time backwards. That's the funnest way for me. And my point is you say all these states exist and these things exist, then okay, I'm gonna try to get into them. And that's like the quantum field. You know, I mean, how many people really try to take their consciousness that intricate? And that's why, you know, you do need the imagination of movies like Ant-Man and stuff. Because I've talked years about the quantum gardens. And here's Ant-Man trying to show you that. I'm like, wow. Because that's something I had been able to kind of tap into. Like there's some kind of life at the very molecular level that, again, moves. And that's the importance of wearing silver. Again, if you decide to wear stones, remember, silver will make the stone do what it's supposed to do for you at a molecular level. And supposedly, you know, gold is supposed to activate the motivite the best. So the two combinations, motivite is supposed to do, you know, something specific for me. Hopefully. Hopefully. And it's like even, you know, looking at these, you know, dinosaur bones, which it seems very bogus. You know, we can get into a lot of different authors that talk about how the, you know, and Jupiter's Rising shows it, how the you know, the reptilians lost, Placidians supposedly lost, and Jupiter's Rising, they show they lost to Europeans. If you check it out, that's what they're trying to tell you, that the Europeans even beat them. So, and it's the snake, well, it's the bird people that pushed the dinosaur thing. Gotta love me. Remember that? Had the talking dinosaurs? Why do you think that? Who do you think put that together? You think humans cared if dinosaurs talked or not or communicated? You don't think there's an agenda that made you want dinosaurs to show dinosaurs at a higher state than what we see in them? And then the dude who wrote Cosmos, what's his name? Seagram. He wrote a book called Something to Eden, and he shows a reptilian that looks like, well, not dragonish as Jupiter Rising, but very close to it. So, and they let him release shit. So they trying to tell you a little something. And of course, the ones, the two, the black dragons, the negative dragons, again, ship shapers. They are dragons inside. Same as the bird people, the birds. They, birds, but they look like people, but they're from that long ancient of the birds. Then they're the ones that pushed the dinosaur shit. That was their highest for them, that we were the biggest. I mean, why is this so significant? Why do they want the children to know about the dinosaurs? I mean, it makes you wonder, like, why? Why do they push this on everybody? Well, why is it the dinosaurs? Why do you want children to care about dinosaurs? Again, gotta love me. We had the little thing, it's about this big. Because that's that type of system saying, we were more than just, these big things. We had a civilization. That's what it's telling you, That's what it's telling you. Don't just think of them as big brutes. They were once intelligent and functional and had a civilization. Again, trying to go deep inside you to understand that it activates anything if you have a relationship with them. However that would go. Probe will touch the sun in 2024 and it won't burn up. So they got some shit that can touch the earth. Will it burn up? Let's see. Will this shit burn up? That's what I want to know. Will the shit burn up? NASA's solar probe is getting ready for its moment in 24. Next year in 24. It'll get closer to the sun than any previous craft. In the world space, look at this shit. They always draw a picture. They always draw a picture to get you to think it's real. Okay, spacecraft, let me see. Research that it would be significant as the 69 moon landing and to get to any previous craft. Okay, it's just as, okay, but it's a computer up there, not us. The spacecraft will do this by reaching a speed never reached by any man-made object. How did they get it there? How can it keep the speed up? What's feeding it? What energy source does it have to propel it? There's nothing in this little thing you can answer that does that can propel this thing from Earth and even make it go faster. There's nothing that they can do to make this thing go across the sun like they trying to show you. This is totally BS. The spacecraft will do this by reaching a speed never reached by any man-made object. Why? How did they learn this? It will bypass the sun at 435 miles per hour. How did they make something that can go that fast? At the same time, the probe will be just 6.2 millions from its surface. That may seem like a huge distance to most of us, but not to the thing. We basically almost landed on a star. This will be a monumental achievement for humans. What propels it? So you telling me you got some with Star Trek warp engines? How can they make something that's already out there? And what could make it go this fast once out there? You telling me in this little bitty thing right here can go that fast and it's been launched already? It's been launched. How is it going to pick up speed? What is going to charge it? Let's see if they tell us. To achieve this maneuver, the spacecraft will have to withstand temperatures of melting. It will reach its immense speed by swinging around Venus. Oh, okay. Gravitational pull. This will tighten its orbit around the sun, will increase its speed. It's just that easy. It's just that easy. It just is going to get into the orbit of Venus and be able to slingshot. Isn't that what they said about the moon landing? They had to slingshot some shit. We call this bullshit. Oh, this is okay. This is what they want you to think the sun looks like. Whoops. This is what they want you to think the sun looks like. You know, it's changed from the thing with the, with the spikes. Now it's this thing with the magenta. All of a sudden, the sun is shining magenta. Isn't that some shit? It used to be yellow and black, but now the sun got magenta around it. How did the sun get magenta? I've never seen magenta on the sun before, but yet I am looking at a sun with magenta in it. This other picture of the sun didn't have a magenta. There's no magenta here. The artist representation, there's no magenta. So why does this one have magenta? No magenta. Magenta. So tell me this ain't superficial. They don't want you to, they want you to recognize this. This is important to them. This is some bullshit. See, that's the kind of bullshit if you don't pay attention. You know, you just, and you know, people be, well, you know, they're gonna go near the sun, you know. Yeah, okay. We don't believe it. What's gonna propel it to even go around the planet, to go around Venus? How's it gonna get into their orbit? What's gonna propel it? What's propelled it, you know, from the beginning? They can't answer that. Who's the dude who said about the moon landing? Come on, that was the most retarded shit in the world. And it's not even a question, did they go? You know they didn't go. Capricorn 13 tells you they didn't go. So, I need a little, I think I can find a little, let me see. I gotta pee. I need to stand up. I need to show a little debauchery. Oh, okay. I will show that debauchery. Here we go. All right. I look good there. Let's do it. I gotta pee, so please enjoy me being me while I go pee. Or they couldn't have gave you a suit. You know, you trying to get your freedom and they can't even give you a suit. You got to be in your jumper.
Sure.
No.
All right. Did you in any way aid or assist anyone else in connection with the murder of Harry Shearer?
No.
A dramatic day in a Hennepin County courtroom, a convicted killer on the witness stand, maintaining his innocence nearly 20 years later. Marvin Haynes and his legal team are fighting for his freedom. Haynes is currently serving a life sentence for first-degree murder.
His case getting a fresh look with the help of the Great North Innocence Project. Paul Bloom was there for Haynes' testimony. Paul.
Man, let's go back to that. Man, I love this tie. Oh, my goodness. I love that tie. That is stiff. I don't mind the suit. I kind of like this fit here, the thinner lapel. I don't really mind that. This fits in pretty good. I'm sorry I had to see that part. That tie, I like that tie. The rust color paisley, you see how it plays off? You see? Plays off that background. But let's go.
Project. Paul Bloom was there for Haynes' testimony. Paul, will it make a difference based on what you heard and saw in court?
See, white supremacy, they say the nigga's guilty. The nigga's guilty. But let's see what he says.
Well, Randy Kelsey, ultimately the fact finder here is Hennepin County District Court Judge William Cook. It was the judge who granted this extraordinary hearing, basically extending a potential lifeline to Marvin Haynes. But what a scene it was up in Judge Cook's courtroom behind me on the 16th floor today. Haynes on the witness stand, answering questions under oath for the first time in nearly 2 decades.
Why are you here today, nearly 2 decades later, still fighting your case?
Because I'm innocent, 100%.
Marvin Haynes
100%.
told Judge William Cook on Tuesday he did not do it.
And are you currently serving a life sentence for the murder of Harry Shearer?
Yes.
Haynes.
All right. I'm back from a stretch and a pee. So thank you for watching something from my files, from my files. Oh, okay. That's cool. That is cool. What else can I get into? Oh, it is just, the world is, the world is not as big as it used to be. I was talking about that yesterday, how we ain't, disconnected like we think. We're connected with more, we're connected more than what we think. That's why I was talking about, the 7 degrees of Kevin Bacon and shit. We're connected more than what we think. And they want to think, make you think that we're disconnected and we're not the same. And that's, the sad part is that, there is a mentality of thinking that we all really aren't the same. And, there, I've talked about there are shapeshifters, no doubt. There are other creatures that live among us. That's just the reality we live in. And, it's like everything else, they have their own conflicts. They have their own that are favorite humans, I imagine. And they have the ones that don't. That's kind of how it goes. And so we just, us as a people, we just have to do the best we can do for each and every one of ourselves. Because that's raising yourself from your bootstraps. It's, you achieve it by whatever means you can achieve it. That's capitalism. And, that's the, the bad part of what the drug world, the drug world knew, like when the CIA brought in the crack and created crack, they knew, they knew they created, I mean, you take away all the industry and all the jobs, what did you expect people to do? I mean, this is a forced socioeconomics. And this was a system clearly of, not going after the CIA for bringing the drugs in, going after for the people that, have to sell drugs to survive. And like I tell the story, like, my ex had a man that, this nigga was selling crack forever and never achieved anything from it. It's like I look back at him and look at him and it's like, what was you doing it for, dude? I mean, my first major moves was getting a house, definitely. Make enough bread and go buy me a house. Not just keep re-ing up. No, I'm like, man, I got this bread. What's up with this house? I got this bread. Let's get this house. That's how I never looked at it like, I'm going to be 60 years old still selling crack or cocaine. And believe me, I had a friend, I got to see if he passed or not, but I know he had a stroke. I bet this nigga snorted coke until the day he died. I bet he did. And I saw some pictures where he's stroking and shit, And he's a prime example of, he was smart. During the crack era, he never sold crack. He only sold powder. And they left him alone. They pretty much left him alone. Because again, they knew what the laws was. They went after the people that sold crack. That's what they criminalized. So he sold powder. So like Tim Allen got caught with powder. Even though it was some keys, he got caught with powder. And even though that was early in the drug war, still powder had a, less than the people that, that's what Jesse Jackson, all the people was mad about. It was like, ain't no difference. You slapping the people on the hand when it's the powder. But when it's crack, you coming down. Remember, they had the, the maximums, they had to, where, right here, we got to give them this. And then we achieved what happened to us and during Reconstruction, right after Reconstruction ended. They found another legal way to put us in prison. Empty the neighborhoods. Because, what did I start talking about? When young men and young people are successful, when you have the support, that's what I started this evening talking about. These young men, when they had support, how successful they were as young people with all this support. And for a lot of people, that support ended, once they became adults. And, with the socioeconomic thing that hit my era. Now, I hear a lot of people say my era, the baby boomers sold out. Okay, but look what was done to the baby boomers. Like, we were the things that saw that you didn't need degrees to do a lot of these jobs. That every place you go, you got to be trained by the company to do the job. We knew you didn't need a college degree to do a lot of these jobs. But yet we see this new requirement. That all of a sudden jobs that you didn't need a degree, if you had the experience, you could apply for. They telling you couldn't even apply for them anymore, regardless if you had the experience or not, because you had to have a degree. And the businesses and the government was both complicit in doing that to us. And my generation was also when they closed the car factories in the North. And you could say the same as, the cereal factories, the production, steel in Gary, steel in Pittsburgh, Cleveland. And I've talked many times that the states that won World War II, they repaid them by destroying them. These cities that won the war for them, the ones that's still in charge today, they repaid those cities by destroying them. The people that work hard for them. And there's the dude who wrote 1983 wrote a book called 1985, and he said it was going to be the end of a smokestack society, turning into a service society, which is kind of true. Lyft, service society. They bring your alcohol to you, bring your food to you, not just Lyft that shit, DoorDash, service society. That did happen to baby boomers too. So if you trained and worked in a factory, like Richard Pryor tells the jug, what he's doing, pressing license plates. I'm a license plate pressing motherfucker. Well, what happens when the license plate pressing job goes to a computer or a machine or a robot? And my background is working with robots. CMM machine ain't nothing but a robot, a measuring robot. Precise, to precise measure parts, to precisely produce parts. And just think about that job, when really you just need the training. Programming is a little different. You need to teach you how to program on certain given equipment. But again, you don't really need a college education for that kind of job. To be a plumber, you don't need a college education. Electrician, you got to take the classes to get certified. So this was done, to my generation that knew, we knew. And, also, generation that looked at like, we're not going in them factories because you ain't paying shit. Because they destroyed the unions. And, they opened up a lot of factories in the Midwest where, these Japanese corporations come in, they're not unions when they come in. So there's no, real negotiating. And then you bring the temporary agencies in and you just keep the people rotating. You keep a handful, make them full-time workers, but the majority of your force, you want them always rotating. And that's the way you don't get any security. You just freshly, pushing people around so you don't have to pay benefits. You're saving money. And who loses out? The people do. The people lose out. That's who loses. We the people. We the people lose. So that's why, use whatever, any and all talents you have. However you can make that bread, make that bread. And connect with people. Oh, I showed her yesterday, I think. Yeah, I showed her yesterday. The food outreach advocate pleads guilty. See, they gave out so much money in COVID that you saw it was all us. You just really saw what it was. The way they were giving that money out, it just didn't make any sense. And really, put people into a, the government's going to take care of everybody. You ain't got to do nothing. And look at what it did to our children. So we did suffer. What was that? We did suffer. Oh, yeah. You know, our children suffered from being isolated. Children need to interact. So I wonder if they're going to call that misinformation. Is that something they're going to declare as misinformation? Because of my opinion of how COVID affected children. Is that misinformation? Is it, Google? Is that information? So I don't think it is. I think it's just my opinion of looking at the way a system is working and how the system affects everyone. And I'm saying it's like each generation's, it's each generation is has the responsibility to try to uplift the generation under us. That's what the idea of elders is, mentors. And instead what we get is, really handlers, users and handlers. And luckily you can get handlers that don't really need to use you. They got their own, but they still there to keep an eye on you. And I'm sure that, a couple people who in my life fit that role. It was to keep an eye on you because they never know. When you get in a position, you never know. Like, you really think, they did Jerry Rice, he's one in 2 million people. Luckily, he went into a system where they just threw the ball all the time. He was going to catch 70, 80 passes. Same with Shannon Sharp. So that gets a lot of attention. I mean, I played on the team. We led the nation in rushing. We led the nation in rushing. So you understand, we wasn't throwing the ball a lot. But again, my platform was bigger than Jerry Rice's platform. The platform I had was big. All my games was on television. I don't know if all his games was on television. All my games was on television. North Carolina. So, yeah, it's nice to, look in the neighborhood and there's no real debauchery. It's always debauchery everywhere. But it's nice that the world can, be free of debauchery. Oh, it's just some bogus shit. They want to fix these apartments. And they're making the people move out until they fix them. And the people can't get out of their lease. They got to move out. And when they're done, they got to move back into their apartment. And they'll break their lease if they don't. That is some bogus shit to do to people. And not let people free of them. It's greed too. Taking a little bit of advantage. For sure. Oh, wow. Damn. That is crazy. And wow, 6-year-old shooting death sparks conversations about proper gun storage. It says police's older brother's friend brought loaded weapon into home where a 6-year-old was killed. Wow. Wow. And this is in Texas. Some kind of way this baby was killed because somebody brought a gun in the house. And obviously somebody used it. And the gun shot a child, a baby. Yeah. I mean, you got to always be conscious. If the gun is loaded, you always got to be conscious. Shit, I even hate leaving loaded guns in the safe. Shit. But, yeah, you got to be conscious of these guns. Like they say, bullets, shooting lanes. If you think where you live, you can just shoot. No, you got to think of shooting lanes, where you want to shoot, where the least chance of bullet, penetration. I mean, all that's got to be considered if you shoot somebody even in your house, because, you don't shoot the right ammunition. That round travels. That round has your name on it. And that is just how it is. That round has your name on it. That's why, practice, proper handling of weapons, all that should take place. Yeah, I don't even want to read about this little girl dying. It's too sad. It is too sad. Dallas, Texas takes new approach to auto thefts. Yeah, I bet they do. And how is it so easy to steal cars now? Well, other than Kia's, Kia put a faulty system in there. And, they circumvented what they were supposed to put in there. And so that's what caused them Kias to be stolen so much. Because them they ain't great cars. Them ain't great cars. So why are they so widely stolen? And, you get them Hellcats, they want to break into your stuff to see if they can steal it while the car's sitting there. It attracts. And if you ain't got a real system to keep them away, it attracts them stealing it. You talking about other people like Kevin Hart. One of them entertainers said they found their car. They looked around and found their car. So that, what do you want to attract? That is definitely a consideration. Oh my goodness. I don't know. It's just I think of everybody's got a lot to say, and I think of a lot of positive things that people I connect with that they have to say. And so I don't ever come down on anyone. I give props to anyone doing this thing. It's not easy. It's really not. To feel like, if I can't make it one night, I'm letting people down because, I don't sell something that might, like I say, take you higher, And so I missed that chance. That one person, I might say something inspiring. Yeah, that's what the word I was looking at. I was trying to fight. That was the word I was looking at, inspiring, And that's what it's all about. Is like, if I can say something inspiring, if you have a question, I can answer my best by my experience. And that's what it is. My experience, and just like your experience, is unique to you. And that's why we are all unique individuals. Because it's the way we put everything together from what we were raised and how we were raised. And, I do come from a two-parent home. Like, my parents divorced, but my stepfather married my mother when I was 4. And until I left, they was together. So, and, I've tried to do that for some of my children, Tried to stay with their mother and make it work long as it could work. But, I became a single parent of 3 boys. That's the best I could give them. So, and even my daughter, now my daughter has, a full family. This is not just my girlfriend. This is my wife. So this becomes my daughter's stepmother. So it's family. And that's the importance of getting married and not, just having a girlfriend. The children become family. She gets aunts and uncles. They get a niece and nephews. And my wife didn't have any children. So this opens up part of her. And my daughter's still young enough where, and so she comes here and around us and we see her, I see my daughter almost every day. So she gets a little balance when she's around us and in her life. And there's, times it's just her and her mom, and she does get treated like a single child. And all her brothers, are grown and on their own. So they're not around me, only certain times. But yet she had her life where it was a full family. One time my oldest son lived with me. So when she was a baby and got, a little older, there were 4 of my sons and her. You see? So she had, she was around me. And when she was little, I watched her every day. So every day she had 4 brothers around her at different stages of their life. That was normal to her. So, and hopefully, when she picks a man, she'll look at a little bit of, me and her brothers and figure out, hopefully what she picks. And she makes me mad, You know what Wild Bill Hickok said? You never should touch a man's hat. And my daughter gets mad because she wants to smack my hat off my head. And that shit pisses me off. And it makes me go off on her. No doubt, because I think that's disrespectful. And so that's, when I get firm with her, it's over that. Like, that is not cool. And I shouldn't be treated like that. But again, it's a young girl that when we were small, she was small, wrestle, they have to, it's a transition from when they're little and you can flip them around and stuff. And then there's a transition when they become young ladies. But yet they don't understand and they still want that physical contact that they get, from the dads. The way they still need it. So she tries to find that balance, because she doesn't really understand it herself, that she's changed. And she knows, I can't just pick her up and, shake her in the air anymore. But that's a transition, that you go through with your daughters. And so for her, it's, it's trying to understand, I still do need, this physical thing. But how do I still receive, And there's a lot of ways, I just hug her, I kiss her. And we just have to make those moments enough. That's what I tell her. And I'll tell anyone, my children, my wife. It's like one thing about life is, when it's time to move on, you can't have any regrets. You can't say you need more time. When it's time to move, you just move. Oh, okay, I know where that's at. And you just move without any regrets. And that's, part of self-healing, forgiving. And when it's time to lay, you just move. You move, and it's whatever's next. You go right into it. Don't even know the difference. So the consciousness change is that quick. But it's nothing to be scared of. It's natural. I mean, it's very natural. The moment you're born, you start to die. That's just a fact. They call dying growing, but you keep growing. You just keep growing. And growing calls, they call it old age. And, I've saw one of myself be about 90 or 100 years old. And that wrinkled old stuff doesn't look good or fun. But if that's what it is, and I'm not going to write the story one way or another. It's if that's the story that I did see. Okay, I'll do it the best I can do it. I want to be like that 112-year-old ex-vet though. He was 100 years old and his woman was 80. He was still smoking cigars every day. He couldn't walk very far, but he could still drive. And by then, next 30, 40 years, they'll have better little cycles for old people to go around, so better little things to hover you around as an old person. Be like Brainiac and shit, with my flying chair. Just have a flying chair, just you can have a chair like this. Oh gosh, just like as my show has improved, you don't know what this chair has meant for me. I mean, you just don't understand. If you look at the old show that had to sit on a wooden chair with a cushion from one of my side chairs. I mean, yeah, this is a big difference to be able to sit and stand up, but it's a big difference. Just to be comfortable to do it has mean a lot. That's why I got this chair, because I knew I needed something comfortable to be able to come out here and, relate my experiences to everybody. And, I guess, in a lot of things I am neutral about. I don't really push any one thing. Now, I do, my experiences and, the Verja and the Monkey King. I mean, that's my experience. And I don't push that on anyone. Those that you can relate to Sacred Ball Field, that's not really pushed. It's what most people that listen to me have experienced. And you can kind of understand because you've been on these fields. And you can see what I'm saying about the sacredness and how important and satisfied and fun all that could have been if you did do that, court, field, wherever. The band, whatever, dance, cheer. I mean, there's a lot of ways to be involved. So I don't push any of this on anybody. I say what works for me. Now, crystals, I think, mankind all can deal with crystals. It's a little something that's out there and that's around us that has value and it has energy, no doubt. And they do deprive people of this. No doubt they deprive people. I mean, how much pink granite is around you? I mean, think about that. Let me see what's my best piece. Like, how much of this is around you? This has the highest crystal resonance. So you don't need quartz. If this is around you, this is your field rock. I think the bigger pieces here. This is basalt and pink granite with basalt. Yeah, definitely basalt and pink granite. Remember, the heads are made of basalt. I mean, are trees around you? You live in the inner city. How many trees are around you? It's part of downtown Minneapolis where it ain't many trees. And you need that. That's why we used to have tree houses. I mean, we have a long history with trees, humankind. And if you don't have any trees around you, any tree you can relate to, any tree that you can get energy from and give energy to. I mean, it may seem insignificant, but a lot of ways it's important. Whoa, 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 whoa. My son put pork in the spaghetti. I took a pill earlier. Because I could feel it after eating that pork. I don't really eat much pork. But I did buy a couple Bratwurst sandwiches or sausages, every now and then, but not really a lot, not overall. I bet I eat less than a pound of pork a year, less than. I'll eat these sausages for the next couple weeks and then, won't eat any pork, for a long period. Occasional piece of bacon on a burger, but, most part. But I can see where I got a little heartburn from it. So, but yeah, for some of you, the weekend is here, and hope you enjoy your time off. Oh, and don't forget, Monday is a holiday, right? Monday is a holiday. Don't forget that. Monday is King Day, right? Let's see. Monday is Martin Luther King Day, national holiday on Monday. So those of you that work for the state, oh, my daughter doesn't even go to school. Oh, shit, she'll be over here with me. Okay, cool. Hell yeah. Yeah. She's definitely coming over. Yeah. Definitely. Gonna spend that day with me. So King Day. Yep. So don't forget. And I think I'm gonna tie it up. Where am I at? Over 3 hours. Okay, that's cool. You know, I appreciate, all the people that watch. I really appreciate it. And my aim is never, to dominate this or get rich from this or get famous. My name, my motive is to get, what I have to get out. That is, my goal is, to push this positive message, which, most of the time you see me, I'm pretty positive. I try to be. There are things I disagree with, and there are things that get me slightly emotional. But for the most part, I try to bring a balanced approach to the way I talk about things. Now, there are things that get me more hype than other things, of course, But for the most part, I try to put a positive message out there, a message of love, us of enjoying humankind. And, you know, I try to show humankind at their worst and at their best, because that's all the experience. And as the Gnostics say, you know, even when it's bad, it's good because it's still life. And that's really kind of how you got to look at it. And that is why, you know, like this man, you know, went 35 years fighting being killed by lethal injection. And then they try to lethal injection him and he don't die. You know, they try it and, you know, he lived through it. So he had to go through it again. But you know what? All them 35 years that he was protesting, he was happy he had. In prison or not. Because even when it's bad, it's good because it's life. And when it's good, it's really good and great. And that's like one thing that happens is when you start achieving, you know, your dreams change. Because you get used to things very easily. Like you go buy a Mercedes today, you get an S-Class. You know, after 6 months of it, you're pretty used to the Mercedes, right? It's not that you got it, it's out there. Do you understand what I'm getting at? Some of these things you get used to. And so the excitement that made you pursue it, you know, it pretty quickly can go away. So, you know, keep that in mind about things. And these cars get around, all of them get around. Yeah, you can get the ones that go fast, but all of them get around. They take you from A to B. And I guess, you know, the type of style that you want from going to A and B, that's what you can afford, I guess. Or the deal you can get. Because I'll take a crib over a car any day. If I can put that same money into a crib instead of putting it in a car, I'm like, man, I'll drive anything. I literally would drive any, and I love my car. I drove the Acura today, and that's a little bitty old truck. It doesn't go near fast as that Taurus. That Taurus, man, that truck does not, like that RDX doesn't. It's all-wheel drive. But that Taurus is just front drive, but they make that car, when I hit a corner, that Taurus eats that corner up. That truck, you know, he turned that Taurus, everybody in the car just like, you be like this, it hit that corner, you might just shift a little bit. In a truck, you'd be like, whoa. But it's spiffy. I mean, you know, and that CVT transmission, it's like, you can't go 50 with the CVT. It wants to go either 70 or under. It's funny because you trying to go 50. It's shifting every time you go above 50. I don't really care for that. I think that's kind of odd. But the Taurus, it's made for the road. I love it, and I love you see them all over. I love I can always get parts. Like when I fucked up my trunk, I went and got another one. So you know that's the way I look at it. You know, I'm happy. And I ain't got a front. What I drive is what I drive, and I'm happy what I have. You know, all the things I have, I'm happy I have. And I'm thankful at the same time that I am right where I'm supposed to be. And I hope all of you are where you're supposed to be and doing what you're supposed to be doing. Because I think, you know, part of what I'm supposed to be doing is trying to be inspiration for something. To give this spark or whatever this gift that I was given to try to wake something up in everybody else. And not save anybody. You know, I'm beyond that. I'm not trying to save anybody. But if my inspiration can help you get through whatever, that's what I'm about for sure. That's what I'm about for sure. Oh, let me tell you, I got another hat coming, and I think I'm gonna break down and get me a white Godfather hat. I don't know, just white ain't going away. It's kind of staying in style, so I'm definitely getting me a white Godfather hat. So that's gonna be the next hat I get. I might get it tonight, send it out, but I don't know. But that's definitely, and then, oh, and I'm getting another Omic book. Yeah, ordered another book. I gotta order another one that Turtle Gang had, so I'll get that one too. Had to do a little reference, like, let me see, I make sure I ain't got this book already. And I'm like, oh, I ain't got it. So I got that because they gave me such a good deal on a hardback, like 10, 11 bucks. I'm like, yeah. So I'll pick that up. So I'll show that when I get that. Yeah, and I think that's it. Yeah, I'm feeling good. Really feeling good tonight. I don't come on Friday nights. Maybe I'll have something to say tomorrow afternoon during the blizzard. Maybe I'll come on during the blizzard and shit. Like I might, take the equipment outside and be in the blizzard and shit and be like talking. Sound. I want you to hear them blizzard sounds and shit. Woo. But I'll tell you, the blizzard is a great time to, that's truly this Talalak energy, this wind energy. It is truly a great time to meditate during, excuse me, those conditions. Oh my goodness, you can really get your consciousness far through a storm. Yeah. Because that storm energy is all around you and you can tap into it, and I being a Cancer, the wind and the water is, all part of me, and the storm is the same thing, the snow is the same thing, the wind, water, all goes into, a water element, water sign, the wind plays a part in a water sign as well. So I enjoy, meditating when the storm is coming. Like Jimi Hendrix had a song that said, I just came back from the storm. And that's why I love him, because you don't know if he's going or coming to the storm. You don't know if he's coming back or going to the storm. But again, even the God has the sacred ball helmet on. So that's how much they wanted even the gods to be the hero twin. And he has the equipment on too. Look at these knee pads. He's got the things on his arms. He doesn't have the knuckle dusters, but he has this is how a ball player would look. You have these to hit the ball with. That's what those are, to hit the ball with. So you see the impact of the hero twins. And I thought I broke that down beautifully the other night, the way you went from the Omen to the Mayan to the Toltec, to the Aztec. I think I broke that down beautifully. So you got to go look at that work, the way that energy flows. And it doesn't matter if where you think your people come from. Look up your records and see where your line comes from, and then you go with that. And if you still want to call yourself Black or African American, then that's up to you. But again, if you look at the Black's Law Dictionary and it tells you what black means, they want to tell you it's where's African American really from? Africa, they call them each other from countries. None of them say, well, where are you from? They'll tell you, Lagos, Ghana. They don't say Africa. Well, I'm just from Africa. None of them say that. Only us. So, you call yourself what you think you are. I put American Indian. I'm the 11th generation from a full-blooded American Indian that was born died in 1619. So he's born in 1500s. And I'm the 11th generation from that individual. What is that, about 100,000 people between me and him? No, actually, it's not that many. But, it's a lot of people. From that road to right here. And for some reason, I was given the gift of him. And it goes the same way. Some reason he was given the gift of me. So that his DNA still goes on. His voice in some way is still heard. His emotions is still felt. That DNA passes through. And it wakes up in certain ones of us and some it don't. And luckily it's woken up a lot in me where I can tap into all of them. And sometimes I get to see out of their own eyes, I get that gift. It's like, that's what it looked like for you, huh? Okay. Even if it's a minute, it's like, wow, okay, you experienced this moment. And for some reason, I can tap into that kind of thing. It's like, wow, that moment was outstanding. Thank you for sharing it. So, well, I think I'm going to go on. I ain't a bitch. I could keep talking all night. I ain't going to go lay down. I'm going to go watch the Equalizer again. I watch the Equalizer and John Wick every day. John Wick's the only one that can fall off a building, get hit by multiple cars, and still be okay. And I like where the clothes, the clothes is bulletproof. You can just block. Like I could block my hat. And I tell you, I love these wool Kangos. These are so nice to wear outside in the winter, I love baseball hats, but I like to change it up sometime, I've been wearing the Michigan hat, but I just don't like to wear baseball hats all the time. I like to wear these Kangos too. And I got these Kangos and the 504s and these wool hats. I love this kind of thing. I've been wearing this kind of thing forever, And so it's cool I can still wear this kind of thing. So, I saw a brother from Detroit. He had a red one on. It was like, I dig that, It's like, oh, yeah, I'm from Detroit. I'm like, I'm from Kalamazoo. He came and shook my hand. It's like, oh, you already know. That's right. So I might even bust my fur coat out. That's really what I might do. Might bust my fur out. And, go to the movies in the fur. What you think? Go to movies in the fur coat. All right. Thank you guys for watching. I appreciate it. I won't be on. If we have the storm, I might come on in the afternoon. I'm definitely not coming on tomorrow night. Saturday after the games. I'll be back on Saturday after the games. And we'll talk about the Saturday games. I'll do a breakdown Saturday of that for sure. So let's see if I can do it. I did it before. Let's see if I can give myself a little beat. Okay, let me see the system if I can get it right. Let me see. Here we go. I'm not a New York rapper or LA gangbanger. I'm just an old school Detroit crack slinger. Make more money. My pockets like sunshine, always sunny. This is the Chocolate Mountain Show. It's coming from the Galactic Patio. We ain't left that place because you definitely know why I'm here. You know why I'm here, y'all. I am here for only one reason. I'm here for one reason. And that is golly, come on, work with me. No, that ain't working with me. Oh, yeah, well, I guess I'm not here to do shit. Oh, and I'm here to take you. I am here to take you higher, baby. So remember that. And when we are on the Galactic Patio, we only do one dance. Would you like to dance with me? And there's only one rule.
Don't touch my truck.
Leave that F-150 alone, because it's fired up the gas for all this place. One love till we meet again. Thank you very much.